Bill Harmon with Nick Halliday and Craig Leskowski. This game began back in 1956, created by Bob Carpenter Jr. and Jim Williams, donating proceeds to those with intellectual disabilities. To date, almost $7 million has been raised through the DFRC, the Delaware Foundation reaching citizens with intellectual disabilities. The Gold team is comprised of players from all schools below the C&D Canal, plus Redline Christian Academy and Newark High. The Blue team is made up of all the other schools north of the canal. It's always a pleasure to work with this man. Let me bring in my broadcast partner, the professional, the veteran like me, Bill Harmon. And Bill, good to be here.
Glenn, it's always a real treat to do this game, and it's great to work with you in 302 Sports. What a vision Mr. Williams and Mr. Carpenter had 70 years ago. The most interesting thing to me is there are a lot of high school football all-star games throughout the country. We may not have the longest tenure, but we are the longest tenured all-star game that has gone to the same charity for all those years, which to me is amazing.
It sure is. You know, all the players are out there now, along with some of the ambassadors and the cheerleaders and the band members as well. We're expecting a crowd of only about 2,000 people for this game, and it's unfortunate that numbers have dwindled so much over the years. But for those who are here today, hopefully they'll be treated to a very competitive football game. And having said that, Bill, let's dig right in and talk about the visiting team designated as the Gold Squad. And, again, a lot of speed on this team, and especially at the skilled position.
Well, you're absolutely right. 4 quarterbacks on this team that Coach Townsend has put together for this game. They are deep. They are very athletic. I think we're going to see some combinations, Glenn, this afternoon and this evening where you'll see 2 quarterbacks, maybe even 3 in the game. Maybe not in the regular quarterback position. They might motion them there. I think we're going to see a lot of trick plays from the Gold. They're going to do everything they can to spread the field both horizontally and vertically and really stress the Blues defense.
And when you talk about all the quarterbacks they have, we're going to go down the rosters in just a moment, but that's Jackson Parson from Lake Forest High School, who passed for over 700 yards and rushed for 400 more and accounted for 16 touchdowns. We're also talking about the DSBA Athlete of the Year, Vince Evans III from Seaford, who's headed to Presbyterian for baseball. He threw for almost 1,000 yards and ran for 1,100 more and accounted for 26 touchdowns. And that's not even talking about Desai Drummond from Apo High, who will be headed to Albright, who's passed this year for almost 3,000 yards and 31 touchdowns. And then let's not forget Middletown's Darian Cunningham, your state champion quarterback, passed for 1,600 yards, ran for 650 more, and accounted for 20 TDs. That's a lot of skilled talent right there.
That's a lot of yardage, too, and a lot of play. You talked about Evans. I got a chance to watch him on tape. He's a baseball player, and he's got a cannon. So this guy can throw it 60 yards down the field. You talked about Parson. I watched him on tape several times. This guy is so athletic. He ran their typical veer option really exquisitely. He has great footwork and great ball handling capabilities. Then you get into the bigger names, people that you hear in the Division III. Drummond is a true pocket passer. I think Albright's got themselves a really good player. And Cunningham, I was so impressed with. He had 2 great games in the Sally's games in the regular season and then in the finals. This guy can really play. What I like about him is he's got great poise and presence in the pocket.
All right, let's switch gears now. The Blue is the home team. They've won 4 straight. They lead this series 36 wins, 30 losses, and 3 ties. And let's just say they're going to be physical up front, Bill.
They certainly are, and they've got some really terrific linemen. They're quite deep there. One of the players that I'm very familiar with, an offensive tackle, Anthony Spinato, is going to Randolph-Macon. This guy is really tough-minded. He's a right tackle. He's got great feet. He was so well coached by Tommy McBride, the offensive line coach at Salesiana. But they are big up front, and they have a linebacker crew.
Yeah.
Some of the 6 best linebackers in the state on one team, and these guys can all fly to the ball, and they are going to be really special. Now, as we know, this game is regulated by certain rules and how you can line up and that you can't blitz and basically a 5-2 or a 3-4 and play normal coverages. We'll see some man, we'll see some cover 4, some cover 2, and some cover 3. But up front, you have to be pretty stable, and that's very smart when the offensive line have such a few amount of days to practice against all the potential combinations.
So with that physical bunch up front for the Blue, they're going to try to negate any kind of running off tackle by the Gold. So your linebackers that you just mentioned, Bill, are going to be key as the Gold tries to spread out the defense with the skilled talent they have.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you a guy that's going to be really key to this game is Robin Trubiano. He's not going to play football in college. He well could have. He had a number of people looking at him. He's going to be a student up at Penn State. This guy is really tough-minded. Played for Gene Deladon's defense, one of the best defenses in the state. He can run sideline to sideline. He might have some of the best eyes in the business, reads extremely well, and you'll see some great run fits by Roman.
While they're still taking some pregame activities down on the field with the buddies and everything, I do want to make mention, too, that the DFRC executive director is Marie Vaca. Hand-in-hand coordinator is Elaine Grunau, and the events coordinator is Fiona Walsh. So they do a fantastic job, and all the volunteers with DFRC that are here today. All right, let's get into it. Let's go down the Gold roster. Number 1, Navon Pierce from Lake Forest High School. Number 2, Dason Bain from Delmar. Number 3 will be Jackson Parson out of Lake. Number 4, Brandon West from Seaford. Number 5, Demir Bryant from First State Military. Number 6, Vincent Evans III out of Seaford. 7 is Mark Patterson from Dover High. Number 8, Judea Barber from Redline Christian Academy. His name is spelled Judah. It is pronounced Judea, and we got that from the parents early in this season. And when I said something to the coaching staff down on the field, they went, "What?" And Barber came over and he said, "That's right, Coach, it's Judea. You've been letting me call you Judah all week." That's one of those funny stories.
That's great research on your part, Glenn.
Oh, man. Well, big shout out to Redline Christian Academy, Coach Anderson, for helping me out, too. All right, continuing with the Gold. 9, Daniel Aladuge out of Milford High. Number 10 will be Makai Smith from St. George's. Number 11, Kamaj Kearney from Smyrna High. Number 12, Desai Drummond, Apo. 13, Dom Montabell, Apo wideout. Number 14, Zachy Williams from Odessa. Number 15, Braden Hazard from Sussex Tech. Number 16, Jaden Miner, Cesar Rodney. 17, Michael Parental from Indian River, and he's a very good athlete. Number 18, Manny Manu from Early College High School. Number 19, Darian Cunningham from Middletown. Number 20, Jaden DeMeza from St. George's. Number 21 is Malachi Hayes from Woodbridge. Number 22, Isaiah Melton from Odessa. Number 23, a three-sport athlete from Laurel, Khalid Burton. Number 25, A.J. Bonus from Newark Charter. 28 is Mason Spears from Smyrna. Number 29, Jacoby Rogers from Middletown. 42 is Tyler Rosen from Polytech. Number 50, Robbie Payton from Cape. 51 is Jimmy McLean from Sussex Central. Number 52, Jacob Killen from Indian River. Number 53, Tanner Smith from Cesar Rodney. Number 54, Nazir Batson from St. George's. Number 55, Morgan Davis from Middletown. Number 60, Josh Hornick from Newark Charter. Number 62, Johnny Whaley from Odessa. Number 66, Jaleel Settles from St. George's. Number 70, Deron Young from Cesar Rodney. And finally, number 77, Michael Toomey from Sussex Central. The head coach, Philip Townsend, the Indian River coach, who lost this year in the 2A championship in double overtime. Thrilling game. The year before that, he won a thriller at the end of the game to win the 1A title on the old hook and ladder.
That's pretty good consistency over 2 years. They've done a great job with that program down there. They are terrific in a lot of different sports. Their baseball team has had a terrific run here the last 3 or 4 years. Kudos to Coach Townsend for doing such a good job year in and year out. A great credit to he and his staff.
And talk about the assistant coaches from Indian River for the Gold: Joey Venezia, Quinn Abbott from St. George's, Sean Strickland from Cesar Rodney, Eston Ennis from Sussex Tech, and Josh Webb from Lake Forest. All right, let's turn to the Blue roster now. Start with number 0, DeVar Rice Jackson from Delaware Military. Number 1, Dante Brooks from Delaware Military. Number 2, Nybree Davis from Hodson Votech. Number 3, the best kicker and punter in the state, Matteo Bracalenti from St. Mark's. He'll be headed to Delaware State. We'll be watching that young man, Bill.
Talk about a leg. His accuracy on kickoffs and on field goals is extraordinary, but he has a giant leg, one of the best leg swings I've seen in a long time in the state for his punting ability.
And with the wind out here today, he's going to be tested in this game tonight. That's Matteo Bracalenti, number 3. Number 5 from Delaware Military, Gavin Scott. Number 6, Tower Hills, Michael Wasco. Number 7, Vaughn Brooks from McCain. Number 8, Amir Madry from Howard, one of the hardest hitters in Class 2A. Number 9, Billy Lang from Tatnall. Number 10, Ryan Hagenberg from Archmere. Number 11, Muaz Brooks from William Penn. Number 12 is Odell Teal from Salesiana. Number 13, Michael Dunneman from Archmere. Number 14, Jafari Payne from Dickinson. Number 15, Isaiah Farrell from Howard. Number 16, John Orsini, Archmere. Number 17, Noah Johnson, Christiana. Number 18, Jazier Gaimon from Salesiana. Number 21, Jamar Smith from Glasgow. Number 22, Masan Fuse out of Mount Pleasant. Number 23, Mark Moore, William Penn. 24 is Sean Floyd from Concord. Number 25, Cooper Strauss from Wilmington Friends. Number 26, Devon Reed from Del Castle. Number 28, Diego Diaz Vallejo from Newark. And number 20, Noah Blessington from Archmere. He was a late substitution. As we continue, number 42 will be Roman Tribbiano from Salesiana. Number 44, Joseph Devane from Caravel. Number 50, Josh Cox from Archmere. 51 is Stephen Vance from Delaware Military. Number 56, Amir Casires from Howard. Number 65, Samai Cargbo from Glasgow. 66, Anthony Spinato from Salesiana. Number 70, Zaire Hill from William Penn. 72, Troy Jones, St. E's. Number 75, Caesar Thomas from Howard. 77, Mason Klazowski from Charter School of Wilmington. Number 57, Jeremiah McLean from St. Mark's. And finally, number 86, Nick Webb from Brandywine. The blue team is coached by Matt Carey from Delaware Military.
In terms of activities, and it really is what makes this game so special.
I want to mention the All-Star Buddies, the designated buddies this year. For the gold, it's Levi Wolf from Cantwell Bridge Middle School. That's in the Appoquinimink School District. And the blue buddy is Stuart Neely from Glasgow High School. Levi is 13 years old, and Stuart in the high school, I believe he was 18 years old. And those are our two designated All-Star Buddies for today's game. Well, it's going to be sunny. It was mostly overcast for most of the day today, and very, very windy. We see the stadium flag here at Delaware Stadium is almost completely halfway wrapped around the pole across the field from us. So it's going to be swirling down here in Delaware Stadium. Looks like maybe even right to left, most of the wind, so south to north, if you're familiar here with Tubby Raymond Field.
Well, it certainly is. You've got a beautiful night. The humidity has burned off, which I think is a huge point. As we all know, this game is played in a very short practice time.
Oh.
Teams came in on Sunday. They actually had scrimmages on Tuesday, and here they are playing a day shorter than they have been the last number of years on a Thursday night. That just puts great onus on the young men and their coaches to get themselves ready, not only physically but mentally as well, to try to perform at a high level. But I think we've got a really good night outside of the wind, which will probably be a factor at times. You've got a good night where I don't think fatigue typically will be as big a problem, other than the fact you've just had a short amount of practice time.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the players down there who just played in the Blue Gold All-Star baseball game, and I think that was either earlier Sunday or on Saturday, but then they went from that game pretty much right here to the University of Delaware.
Well, you're absolutely right, and it was a very hot Saturday. We had a young man from Archmere, where I coach baseball, playing in at Luke Kenny, and had a really good game, but it was an excellent turnout there, and let's hope this crowd continues to build here throughout the evening.
All right. We are going to now have the playing of our national anthem by the Blue Gold All-Star Band. The playing of our national anthem by the Blue Gold All-Star Band here at Delaware Stadium, the 70th annual Blue Gold All-Star Football Game. Glad to be here and bringing it to you, and we are glad that you're joining us on our YouTube channel, this free live stream brought to you by 302 Sports. Once again, Craig Leskowski on camera, Nick Halliday producing, and my friend Bill Harmon and I will be on the call for you. And again, hopefully it's a competitive game. Bill, last year it was close for a half, and then the Blue took over big time.
Well, the Blue was terrific in the second half, and as you mentioned earlier, the Blue team has won 4 in a row, 36, 30, and 3. But I expect a really competitive game. We've already talked about that speed for the Gold team. And in a game like this, especially with short prep, some big plays can really be a huge factor. I think special teams get downplayed in a game like this, but with the win, and you have a great kicker that the Blue team does, that might be able to sway it a little bit. But I look for hopefully less mistakes and some big plays, and look for both teams to have an array of trick plays they might be able to use here this evening.
All right. Looks like our designated buddies. Or no, we're going to have the flip of the coin, get the captains out on the field. So it looks like for the Blue, it will be number 44, Joseph Devane. I think that's 66, Spinato. Number 16, that's John Orsini. And finally, number 8, Amir Madre. For the Gold, number 12, Desai Drummond. Number 11, that is Kamaj Kearney. 18 is Manny Manu. And 66 for the Gold, Jaleel Settles out of St. George's Tech. I know Coach John Wilson is going to be sorry to see that young man go. He was quite a two-way player for him.
Well, John Wilson is also the camp director here, and he gives up a whole week from his team at St. George's. He's done a great job over the years with that program, his 10 years there, and he loves this young man that's one of the captains. He is very versatile, as you mentioned, both sides of the ball. He can change the game in one play.
All right, so the captains are out there with the officiating crew being introduced to each other. They're going to have the flip of the coin, and we're going to set things up right now. Gold won the toss. They're going to receive the opening kickoff, and they will move from our left to our right. Gold, of course, on the gold shirts, gold jerseys with blue numbers, blue pants, and the blue the complete opposite. They are blue jerseys, yellow numbers, and gold pants. So the blue will take the win in this opening quarter. 12-minute quarters.
Glenn, I think the choice of taking the ball by the gold team tells you a little bit about how they want to run this game offensively. They want to be aggressive early on. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to establish some exterior running and then hit some passes. Now, they're going to be working into a pretty tough wind here. I would not be surprised if this ball's kicked into the end zone with the help of the wind. And we talked about the rules earlier.
Yeah.
It really limits the interior line. You have to have a man covering the center. Your tackles have to cover the tackles. Your ends have to be outside the tight ends or on their outside shoulder. The two inside linebackers have to be positioned over the guards, and they cannot blitz unless there's a run through down in the goal line area. The cornerbacks cannot press. They have to be approximately 3 yards off, and the safeties cannot be closer in the box than 8 yards. So you're not going to see a lot of blitzing. Pretty much plain vanilla 3-4 defense with variations in the back end.
And it usually goes that way with a blue gold game, right, Bill? Because they just don't have much time to practice together.
Even when you had 2 weeks back in the old times, it was still
when they
difficult.
played in August.
You're absolutely right. So, no, it's the right rule, and teams just have to abide by it, look for the officials to make sure those things are adjudicated properly.
Brocalente's kick will be fielded by Vince Evans III from Seaford. He is hit at the 25-yard line and driven back. And that's where the goal will operate, once again moving from our left to our right across your viewing screen and into the wind. Lights already on here at Delaware Stadium. Looks like Desai Drummond is out there for the gold. Typically he would be the quarterback, but again, they have a bevy of talented QBs.
Drummond is a really good pocket passer. He can also throw on the run, but he's really known for that rocket arm. He can throw the ball downfield vertically 50, 60 yards if needed.
In the gun, premature movement on the line, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty. I think it's encroachment against the blue.
Early on, one of the things I'm always looking for is the center quarterback exchange. Now, both these teams are going to operate from the gun. It's incumbent that these centers are going to have good snaps. The wind is going to be a little bit of a factor. And in a short week, cadence also in voice inflection will be a factor.
That's Judea Barber from Red Lion in the backfield with Drummond. 2 wideouts topside, 1 to the bottom. 1st and 5. Wide out in motion. They load up topside. They bring Barber the opposite direction, and he gets almost up. He will get the first down yardage.
Well, nice play from the backside by Roman Trubiano, the linebacker from Salesianum. This is a guy that can run sideline to sideline. He was also assisted on the play by Jeremiah McClain from St. Mark's, coming from his right tackle, defensive tackle position.
Good carry by Barber. He got 6 yards. A little misdirection there by the gold with the flow going to the top side of the field. And then they come back against the grain. Barber stays in to the left of Desai Drummond. They have a wing back in as well. They fake it, throw it up top, caught by Montabell. Spin move, lost the ball, but it went out of bounds. So the goal will retain it and a pickup of about 8 yards.
What a terrific block by the wide receiver Kernier out there on the in-place rocket screen, where these Smyrna guys are known for their pass running capabilities and the fact they spread the field, but their wide receivers are also very good blockers. Mike Judy's got to be very proud of his young man right there with a terrific block.
It was an 8-yard pickup, so 2nd down and 2 coming up here for the gold at their own 43-yard line.
Glenn, that's a great way to get Drummond going. You get him a short pass, something to build his confidence, gets it out into the left flat. He's going to be on target a lot tonight. A very accurate passer as well.
Drummond continues to have Barber in the backfield. Puts it in the belly, takes it out, throws the ball downfield. Jump ball, caught down at the 25-yard line, and now they're going to say it was dropped. Good coverage down there. And the pass was intended for Mark Patterson out of Dover High.
Michael Donovan from Archmere. He is a converted running back and split in. They moved him to cornerback this year, and he excelled out on the edge for John Blaze and that very fine Archmere team. Also, Dante Brooks down there did a nice job of migrating over from the safety position. Donovan, a really good athlete. He is debating where to go to college. He may end up down at Catholic to play football down there with his teammate, possibly Noah Blessington. So Catholic's going to get a couple of pretty good Delaware players if they both decide to go there.
They sure are. Third down and short. Drummond rolls near side, throws flat, completes the pass into blue territory and out of bounds inside the 45-yard line, and that's Dom Montabell again on the reception.
Well, surprisingly, right? Drummond to Montabell, teammate to teammate. They work left into the left flat, and then they roll Drummond out away from the pressure, and he did a great job with an on-target pass to Montabell, who's really good with his pattern deception and the run after the catch.
I think he's a very good possession receiver, Bill. He gets the short yardage, and he's quick enough. He has a quick move. Once he makes the catch, he can cut it upfield.
1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns?
Yeah.
I would say that's pretty darn good in the high school ranks.
All right. Played directly in front of us at the 42-yard line of the blue. Drummond rolls topside, sets up, pressure now coming, throws it late, has a man behind the secondary, over the shoulder catch attempt, almost made, but incomplete, and I think that was Montabell again.
It was Montabell running a quick fade route. Drummond had plenty of time. That was actually a very accurate throw into the wind, just slightly out of the arms, but Montabell has already shown his ability to not only run after the catch, but have that speed and create separation from the defensive backfield of the blue team. They're going to have to be a little bit sharper against this pass game. They need to get a pass rush against Drummond. Now, having said that, Coach Townsend's done two good things. They open up with an easy pass to get him going in the flat, and then they roll Drummond out. So they've done it three different things with him in the passing game.
Patterson split to the bottom of your screen. Kearney and Montabell to the top. Fake the handoff. Pressure's coming. Drummond has to run for his life, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage.
That was some misdirection. I thought that was going to be a counter play with the running back, and maybe Drummond just missed the handoff there. But a really fine play by Nicholas Webb off the backside defensive end position from Brandywine, who had a terrific season, undefeated in their division.
You mentioned the Smyrna wideout, Kamaj Kearney, doing a good job of blocking downfield. Nick Halliday, our producer, just told me that earlier he was told by Kamaj that he's going to continue his education at Salem Community College.
Outstanding. Well, I'll tell you what, they're going to get a really good player over there. This guy is tough-minded. He runs excellent patterns, has terrific hands, and what I've liked is he can catch the ball in traffic.
And he was pressed into duty as a running back last year for head coach Mike Judy. He's been a wideout his entire career at Smyrna. Did a really good job rushing the ball as we've got a stoppage here. Kearney had 800 yards rushing, another 360 yards in receptions, 17 touchdowns. Bill, you know Smyrna runs that earthquake conversion attempt when they score. He scored 26 conversions.
I call it the phalanx because it looks like the Romans marching on all their enemies and winning countless battles with their legions. But I'll tell you what, it is well executed. They can do a variety of things out of it. It's not just power. They can be very deceptive with their motions. They'll throw the ball. They'll do some pop passes. It's really very creative. I give the Smyrna staff a lot of credit for the development of that formation.
Twins, top and bottom of your screen. Drummond straight back. Looks downfield, scrambles a little bit, now throws far side. Diving catch is made well short of the first down, and that is Kearney on the reception.
Very nice coverage down the field. That was a blanket cover 4, which means quarters coverage. The two corners and the safeties basically have quarters of the field. They were dropping. They only rushed 3 players there, but let me tell you, a matchup to watch is Odell Teal at the top side of the field. He's the defensive end. This guy is a game wrecker. He is ballistic off the edge. Paul Warlow, at the time the defensive coordinator of Slasianum, used him very effectively. Gene Deladon's going to miss that young man. He can really play.
And we've got a timeout here with a 4th down and 8 play coming up for the Gold from the blue 40-yard line. Gold wants to talk this one over with 8:48 to go in a scoreless first quarter. A little bit of impressive early drive here, especially into the wind with Drummond and that strong arm.
Well, you would think that you would try to establish a run game, wouldn't you, against the wind? But they've just done the opposite and thrown the ball. That may be a little bit of a surprise to the blue team. But the blue team here stiffened up. They had great coverage on second down to force that short pass there. Gold just missed the long pass to Monabel, so I've seen some creativity. The good news is it seems like the teams are already in a pretty good flow. What you worry about in a short week are center quarterback problems, that snap back or whether you're under that exchange, and also just penalties. Players being overly aggressive, haven't played football in a while. You get one scrimmage for a limited amount of time on Tuesday night. So I think the level of play so far has been pretty darn good.
Decide Drummond will be continuing his education at Albright, where he will be playing football. Good size, too, 6'3" and 200 pounds.
Oh, he's got great metrics. I love the way he moves, too, when he rolls out.
And a decent basketball player. Averaged a double-double this year for the Jags. Two-step drop. Now he's going to take off. Quarterback draw. Eludes one tackle. Breaks another, and he'll get the first down. And then he fumbled the football, and I think the Blue got it.
They're going to rule him down, I think, Glenn.
Are they?
That was a great call by Coach Townsend from Indian River. A quarterback draw. They got the droppers. They only rushed 3. They were able to wall off the nose tackle. And this Drummond, as you mentioned, at 6'3", 200, is a really good runner, a very fine athlete. He's got great hips. Little question of ball security. Now, again, that's just from lack of playing football, lack of getting hit. So that's going to happen a little bit tonight. We've already seen 2 late fumbles by the goal team.
Coming up with that ball with the Blue was Gavin Scott from DMA, but again, they ruled him down. So it was a first down carry inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Drummond, long signal count, trying to draw the Blue off maybe. Now he checks the sideline. Puts it into the belly of the running back. There'll be a loss of 2 yards. Barber on the carry.
Well, they rocked Odell Teal down, the defensive end from Salesianum, and that forced the runner to go back inside, and he ran into the long arms of Amir Caceres.
So that brings up second down and a long 11. Ball now outside of the 30 of the Blue. This is a very long sustained drive to open the game for the Gold. 7 minutes and 30 seconds and counting to go here in this opening quarter.
Well, that's probably what you want when you're going into the win, especially against an explosive Blue team that really wants to get the ball here. So a very time-consuming drive, mostly with the pass.
Barber to the right of Drummond. Fakes it. Back to pass. Pressure's coming, and he will be brought down outside the 40-yard line.
Now that time the Blue brought both of their defensive ends, which they can rush. That's Nybree Davis from Hodson Votech coming off the edge. He had Teal coming in from the top. Davis in perfect position to make that tackle, going to Widener.
Yep, Davis wrapped him up. He'll get the sack. Big loss all the way out to the 41-yard line.
And I think in a game like this, Glenn, pass protection, if you plan to throw the ball, that's got to be your biggest part of emphasis throughout the week. How do you protect them?
Yeah.
In these spread offenses, everybody releases their H-backs or their running backs. With a 5-man rush against 5 people, I'm going to give the defense a big edge on that.
Kamaj Kearney and Dom Montabell split to the top of your screen. Patterson to the bottom. Pressure again coming, and they snow him under back near midfield. No time to throw that time for Desai Drummond.
That was Joseph Devane from Caravel with an inside swim move. He just beat the right tackle of the goal team with a great move, and was up in Drummond's face before he had an opportunity to do anything. So credit that sack to just some terrific defense. Good pressure, and as we all know in games like this, if you can't protect the quarterback, no matter how good he is or how good your receivers are, it's just going to be too difficult unless you're going to throw a lot of short passes.
11-play drive comes to an end here for the Gold. They go to punt formation. That looks like number 19 for the Gold. That's Darian Cunningham. High kick, end over end, into that win. A little bit of a Gold bounce, and then we'll go out at the 28-yard line. So the Gold started their drive at their own 25. The Blue will start at the 28.
That was a nice maneuver by Cunningham. That's the typical way that Middletown loves to punt the ball. They'll get in a rugby-type formation. Usually the punter rolls to his right, assuming he's a right-footed kicker. It buys time for the coverage team to get downfield and allows him to get his body into the kick a little bit more. Very successfully done in the past by the Middletown special teams coach, Steve Sapp.
I see Ryan Hagenberg out there in the offense for the Blue, and John Orsini from Archmere apparently will be the QB here on this opening series.
Glenn, you're really going to like him. This guy is very versatile, can throw from the pocket. I think he's even more dangerous out in the perimeter, a good runner. He's got a great feel for the game, going to Bates in the NESCAC conference up in Maine.
Hands off to Amir Madre, right up the middle, big hole, all the way out across the 40-yard line, 12 yards and a first down for Madre.
Glenn, you mentioned it in the pregame show, Amir Madre, one of the hardest runners. I'll tell you something else Madre does. He can really block as well.
Yeah.
A couple of our linebackers at Friends School had to take him on over the years, and I'll tell you what, even with great technique and low pads, he won a lot of those matchups. He is a tough guy. He runs with great pad level and has excellent speed after contact.
He certainly does. He's an awesome two-way player for Dan Ritter at Howard. He gets it again. This time he bounces it outside. Stiff arms one defender. Only got a couple of yards that time as they forced him to go east and west.
Well, that's what you've got to do with a runner like that. The left tackle, Jeremiah McLean, did a pretty good job of sealing the edge. If you can't get more than two players on Madre, you had better be running him to the sideline because he's just going to run through arm tackles.
And he is one player that we are not sure. He's undecided about where he's going to go next. I'm going to tell you what, folks, wherever this young man ends up, it's going to be a big plus for somebody's football team. Man in motion. They faked it to Orsini. It was up the middle again to Madre. Looks like he got close to midfield. I think Jaleel Settles may be in there on the stop.
That's exactly right. A St. George's player, one of John Wilson's really tough interior defensive linemen, a two-way player. Settles has great hands, plays with extreme leverage. He gets under people's pads, has really good feet as well. Very well coached by that St. George's staff.
John Orsini, the quarterback right now for the Blue, is headed to Bates, and he will be playing at Bates.
He is going to be an excellent NESCAC quarterback. I coached in that league back in the 70s. Let me tell you something. I wish we'd had Orsini at Trinity back then. What's really neat here is that Coach Carey gets to play with Ryan Hagenberg. They're going to move him around a lot.
Back to pass, throws a nice out route and gets the first down yardage at the goal 45-yard line. On the reception, number 14, Jafari Payne from Dickinson.
It's nice to see a player from Dickinson doing well. Some of those teams in the lower division sometimes don't get as much recognition, but I'll tell you what, this guy can play. He's got great moves after the catch. That was a well-thrown ball on a little hitch pattern out to the left side against single coverage.
Also in the game, we mentioned Ryan Hagenberg. He's headed to Alabama, not playing football down there, but should get a good education down there. I think the quarterback kept it that time.
Yes, he did. A little fake to Jasir Gaiman, whose father's one of the really fine coaches at Salesian and played himself in college. Gaiman going to Millersville. He's going to be a really good player. He had some injuries late in the season, but a very versatile player, can play in the backfield, can play in the slot. So he's going to attract a lot of attention when they fake the ball to him. And Orsini is an underrated runner. He is willing to run in between the tackles as well as outside.
All right, Blue breaks from the huddle. They've got second down, about 6. Ball just outside the 41 of the goal. Straight back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. Now he runs near side inside the 40, puts the helmet down, and gets to the 35-yard line.
I like the decision there by John Orsini. Nobody was open early on. That was going to be a timing route. Was looking for some crossers, well defended by the linebackers of the goal team. Orsini puts it away and very cleverly was able to switch the ball from his right hand to his left hand, running left, and did a good job of getting under that last tackle. This Orsini guy is much tougher than people kind of look. You look and see him. Maybe he doesn't have the frame of Drummond, but let me tell you what, he's every bit as tough as anybody. He was an excellent basketball player for Nick Sannon, his terrific 3-year career at Archmere basketball as well.
Try to pick up some of these linemen for the Blue. They're doing an outstanding job. There's a good pass. Now bringing it near side, 40, and taken down for a loss on the play. Penalty flag is down. So for the Blue, right now at left tackle is Caesar Thomas from Howard, 6'3", 300 pounds. And again, I'll try to pick up some more of those linemen as we go along.
Oh, that Thomas is a big-time player. They have great size along that front, but Thomas at Howard has great feet, a three-way starter.
Also, a personal foul against the Blue. So also on the offensive line right now for the Blue is Stephen Vance from Delaware Military. And number 66, Anthony Spinato from Salesianum.
He'll be the right tackle.
Yep. Let's see. And number 50, that's Josh Cox from Archmere. I believe he's the left guard.
And Cox is a really special player. He is not going to play football in college. He's going to Elon to be a student. But he had a terrific 2-year run for John Belace, one of the really fine linemen at Archmere.
Elon, that's a nice campus, and you know who went there?
Nick Allison.
There you
of
go.
Course I do. How could I not know that? Shout out to our good friend Nick. Hope he's doing well with that young family of his.
Nice campus down there. I've been down there for softball.
They've got a lot of money, Glenn.
Looks like the center is Amir's Kasiris from Howard. Man in motion, they fake it to him. Throw. And just missing, and not by much. Incomplete.
Off the play fake there, John Orsini was forced to get his feet set. He had a little trouble driving that back leg, just a little short, underthrown there to Payne from Dickinson again, who's become a favorite target of Orsini's early on here.
Stops the clock with 1:52 to go in the scoreless opening quarter in the 70th annual Blue Gold All-Star football game. Two receivers to the top of your screen. The outside receiver is Isaiah Farrell from Howard.
Blue team's using a modified spread. They've got an H-back in Cooper Strauss from Friends School.
Orsini back to pass. Setting up a screen. Madry, right there. They double team him and finally bring him down with a third tackler. But the first guy to get in there for the goal was number 17, Michael Parental.
Parental did a terrific job of reading that from his right end position. That was well set up. I thought it was a good call initially, but sometimes it only takes one player to diagnose it, and that was really well played by the Indian River player.
A couple of Class 2A players dueling each other out right there. And Bill, you and I talked about it before we went on the air. Class 3A is the top class in Delaware. The blue team has 8 players from Class 3A programs. The gold has 17 players from Class 3A programs.
But
let's see if that makes a difference.
The caveat, it certainly could, Glenn. That's a great point. But the caveat is Division 2 or the middle division on the blue team, it was very strong. Howard could have easily played in the top division. So could Archmere. These are big-bodied people that can play at any level.
Got a timeout here by the blue with just under a minute to go in the first quarter. And yeah, let's expound on that a little bit, because we've already talked about Amir Madry from Howard, who is as solid a player as you could want, could easily have played on a Class 3A team for anybody and played just as well in that class.
You're absolutely right. And then you talk about those Howard linemen.
Yeah.
They are huge, but I'll tell you what, beside their size, these guys are very mobile. They're very athletic. They've been able to run the ball and pass the ball over the years. Rashawn Matthews, the offensive coordinator for Danny Ritter. I mean, they've done a great job. And so when you talk about Howard players, Kasiris and Thomas, I mean, these guys are big-time players. They could have played at any level.
And for the gold, well, here we go. Timeout quickly is over. They're going to just let Madry go up the middle, and he got about 3 yards before he's driven back. It'll bring up 4th down, and we'll bring in the punt team.
Well, the 15-yard penalty on the illegal block on the reversal of field on the wide receiver screen really detonated this drive.
Yeah.
It blew it up, and then they had the screen pass that was so well read. So just a drive that broke down. But so many times in a game like this, these 15-yard penalties are just impossible to overcome. It's true in the regular season and the playoffs, but certainly in an all-star game as well.
All right, Bill, we're not going to get the punt off here in this quarter. We'll take ourselves to the second quarter. We're scoreless here in the 70th annual Blue Gold All-Star game here on 302 Sports. Back after this.
Please join me in welcoming onto the field the Gold All-Star the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822. Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 20...
I think I've always known he was going to do something like this. He did not want to do active duty because he wants to do college first. I think that was the biggest thing for him, instead of waiting and then doing college after.
One of the differences I noticed when he came back from basic training, he was more organized in how he was going about things a little bit. I know he commented that a lot of things his classmates would do that it didn't bother him before, but now he realizes, you know, because he's been outside of high school, I think maybe he's a little more responsible.
He's thinking about his future a lot more. He talks about it and the different possibilities. And he mentioned the ROTC program as well, and he said, you know, I could graduate as an officer, and so I was kind of excited when he mentioned that he could do that as well.
I would just tell people, you know, if their son or daughter was considering the National Guard, that I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's something that can really help somebody grow, and at the same time you're serving your country, which is a great thing too. So I think it's a good opportunity.
Back here at Delaware Stadium, Glenn Fraser alongside the coach, Bill Harmon. As we have a scoreless first quarter, we're getting ready to start the second quarter with the blue in fourth and long. They'll go into punt formation, and that will mean Matteo Bracalendi from St. Mark's, who will be headed to Delaware State University. And, boy, we'll get a lot of opportunities to watch that young man play over the next few years.
He's got a terrific leg. He has excellent timing. He's been well coached over there. Billy Donato's staff did a great job with him. But this is a young man that can kick off. He can place kick as well as punt.
Back deep for the Gold is number 29, as that is a short punt into the wind, but it gets a good blue bounce. Very effective punt. It will be down inside the 25 of the 23-yard line, and that's where the Gold will take over with their second series. And let's see if it's the same quarterback. And it looks like we might be switching up by series.
Cunningham.
Okay. And
the really fine Middletown quarterback has trotted out. Now, they may use a variety of formations with their different quarterbacks, but that first quarter, each team had one possession.
Yeah, how about that? Trips to the bottom of your screen. That's Kamaj Kearney. That's also number 7 from Dover. That's Patterson. No hand. Cunningham fakes the handoff to Barber, takes it himself. Looks like he surged ahead for maybe a yard.
Little zone read. That ball might have been better handed off on that play. Well diagnosed. The blue right now, the defensive line against the run has played very stout. Those two linebackers can really fly whoever they have in there. Trubiano made a play early on. The two defensive ends from DMA, Davis, and then Teal from Salesianum were really destructive coming off the edge and setting good leverage out there to force the ball back inside them.
Odessa Zaki Williams will join Kamaj Kearney and Dover's Patterson to the bottom of your screen. Back to pass, Cunningham steps up in the pocket, cuts back nicely, and got all the way up close to the 30-yard line. Good run for a young man that gained over 650 yards rushing this year for the Cavaliers.
Cunningham is very elusive. He's got a great feel in the pocket to where the pressure is without having to look that direction. And that's really something I talked about earlier about patience and poise in the pocket. If you start looking for the rush or looking down, you're not going to be as effective. But he has a good feel. He knows where to step up and evade. A really natural and instinctive runner back there who's got great feet once he gets moving.
3rd down and 4. This time the 3 receivers at the top of your screen. Cunningham fakes it, takes it himself, trying to get the far edge, can't get it. Blue did a great job defensively of stretching that play out to the sideline.
The two inside linebackers, Trubiano from Salesianum and Devane from Caravel, have done a great job. That time, Devane read that play perfectly. He ran it down from his inside linebacker position. I think they've been better off running the counter play was there because they had a little twist stunt on, did the blue team up front, and it might have been a good running play, but Cunningham chose to pull the ball and run himself out of bounds to the right side. Well diagnosed and defended by the blue team.
Cunningham will do the punting like he did in the first series, back deep for the blue. We have Isaiah Farrell, and I think it's Gamon back there with him. Yep,
Gamon is really, really good in punt return and kickoff return situations. Watch him. They should not kick to him. I wouldn't. How about if you put it that way?
Okay, all right. Here's a snap. It's a little low. Cunningham digs it out, does that rugby-style punt. It will be fielded by Farrell, and he's met hard just shy of the 45-yard line, but good field position to start the second drive for the Blue at their own 44.
Farrell's one of those other fine players from Danny Ritter's Howard program. Wide receiver, can play defense. He's a really good returner. He's got great speed, but what I like about him is, as well as Gaiman, they are willing to catch the ball. And if you don't have punt returners that can catch the ball, you're going to be in trouble because that rugby kick, if it lands, it's going to be rolling 10, 15, 20 yards against the return team.
Good point, Bill. Now let's see if the Blue has Orsini still at quarterback or not, or if they switched up. As they break the huddle, we'll be able to find that. Looks like Orsini's still in there. Wide out to the top of your screen.
And oh my heavens, he's going to operate from under. He's done that very infrequently throughout his career. John Belace is a gun guy all the way.
I formation and bouncing it to the outside is Madry. He has power, he has speed, and he goes up to midfield and gains about 6.
He's also got a man straight arm as well, and I'll tell you what, he is so powerful. He runs with big boy disposition, meaning he wants to run over you as well as run by you. I love his mentality. He'll lower his shoulder. That time he got out to the edge with a nice little skip bounce move and then used a forearm to ward off the goal tackler. This guy is really tough and versatile.
That's his 5th carry unofficially of this first half as we have 9:30 to go in the second quarter. We're scoreless here.
I'm going to ask John Orsini if he's ever been under center before. This is probably a first for him.
Takes a snap. They feed Madry again. This time he goes the other side of the field. Tries to get the edge. Nice cut into goal territory down at the 34 and a first down.
When you run out of the eye and you're the tailback, you need a really good blocking fullback. Vaughn Brooks from McCain was the lead fullback on that play to spring Madre outside. I'll tell you what a tough blocker from McCain. Again, one of those other smaller schools you don't hear a lot about, but they've got some really good players. An excellent block by Brooks.
All right. This is as deep as the Blue has been here in the opening half as they have switched up and gone to the I formation. They feed Madry again, following blocking on the right side. Oh, he gets a good block. There's a penalty flag thrown. He's going to score, but I think this one's coming back.
That's Gaiman from Salesianum with the ball, and I'll tell you what.
I'm sorry.
He is so quick out in the open field. Another fine lead block. I think it may be coming back to a hole, but a really well-run play, a stretch eye zone play to the right.
Yeah, that one's going to come back. Penalty flag was thrown back near the 25-yard line. Well-designed play. And a good run by Gamon. Good cutback.
Gaiman is really clever. He's got fabulous hips, has a great feel for when to make his cut, a patient runner that knows when to stick his foot in the ground. Well coached over the years by his father, who's the running back coach at Salesianum. James Gaiman, or Muggs, as he's referred to. And I'll tell you what, he does a great job for Gene Deladon.
In their initial series, the Blue was hurt by a major penalty. Let's see if they can overcome this one. Penalty yardage stepped off back outside the goal, 40 to the 42-yard line. 9 minutes to go in the half. We are scoreless.
As we all know, Glenn, there are penalties and then there are other kind of penalties. The first one negated a drive that looked like it had some promise. This one takes back a touchdown run.
Yeah. Take that off the board. So Gaiman is the halfback. The blocking back in front of him is Noah Johnson, I think, from Christiana. He bounces us to the outside, stretches the play, got a couple of yards, and just shy of the 35-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 12-yard to go.
Kind of fun to watch the interior play. Some really tough guys up front on both sides of the ball. The goal team trying to do a good job of establishing the flat wall or the line of scrimmage. But this Gaiman has really good eyes, knows when to bounce outside, can also duck inside. The right tackle, his teammate, going to Randolph-Macon, Anthony Spinato, with a really nice block on the edge.
Okay, I take that back. I was not the Christiana player. You mentioned him earlier, McCain's Vaughn Brooks, the lead blocker. Gaiman, that time, collapsed. The defense collapsed on him for no gain.
What a really fine play there by Cape's linebacker, Robbie Payton, working inside out, does a really nice job of tackling in space. My good friend Chip Knapp down there at Cape Henlopen, who's done a really wonderful job with that program, has got to be very proud of this young man, a really fine player who can play side to side, and he's a three-down linebacker. A lot of these teams in today's world, when they play these 4-2-5s, they're going to take out a linebacker in pass situations. This guy is an all-down player.
Yeah, Chip's a great guy. Talked to him many times over the years.
One of my favorites.
He spent most of his time at Wesley.
Yes, and he was the quarterback at Cornell back in the day.
How about that? All right, Madry back in the game. Stiff arms and gets out of bounds just shy of the 25, and another flag down. Jacoby Rogers on the stop.
This Madry's a big boy guy. I'll tell you what, he can run inside, he can run outside. He's got great vision. He's got really good speed, and I'll tell you what, when he drops his shoulder, you better tackle him with a couple different players.
And we mentioned in our pregame, Bill, that it was going to be the power running of the Blue versus the speed and the skilled position players of the Gold. And so far, the Blue has dominated the yardage. Also, unfortunately, dominated
the
penalty
yardage as well. And another 10-yard penalty. Really hard to overcome these in a drive. It's really difficult. Still third down, but now instead of close to a first down or a first down, you've got 3rd and 20.
Ball now all the way back, at the Gold 43-yard line. As we have 8 minutes to go in the half. No score in this one. Now the Blue will go back to the gun. Madry to the left of Orsini.
Orsini to Hagenberg was a great combination throughout the last couple years. Ryan Hagenberg runs the wheel route about as well as any back I've ever seen.
Now, Bill, to compound the issues here for the Blue, there's yet another penalty as they ran out of game time.
And now, if you're a play caller, it's 3rd and 24. You're operating into a little bit of a win. I'm not sure too many play call sheets have a play for this. Last time in this situation, they just ran the ball.
Yeah, I would think we might see that here, or maybe a screen. Let's see what the Blue.
Or you take a shot down the field and hope for a PI.
Yeah, see what Matt Carey and his staff comes up with here. Orsini drops back.
3-man pressure.
And he does go deep. Has a man over there. There's a little handsy plays. No flag.
Wow, that was very close. Some great defense down the field. Holy cow, that was a very well thrown ball by Orsini back into the wind. Excellent job by Adugai from Milford, going to the Taft School.
Oh, yeah, Adugai. Jafari Payne was the intended receiver, and those two were really battling. All right, incomplete pass, and that will stop this drive. And mostly the penalties stop this drive for the Blue. Brocalente in the punt from his own 40-yard line into the wind.
Little stack formation here for the goal team on the punt. They have a shorter returner who's usually a blocker, and the punt is going to be well placed here, going to go out just around the 20-yard line.
Both punters so far being pretty smart as far as getting it into the hands of the speedy return man, and that's something we see a lot in high school football, Bill, over the last 5 or 6 years. There are so many talented punt returners in this state, and a lot of teams just decide to punt it away from them, out of bounds, or get a lot of hang time, get the coverage team down there.
Well, I think it's pretty smart, especially if you want to stay be the special teams coordinator. You can get replaced pretty quickly if you kick to the wrong guy. And that tells you the development of punters. You've got to be able to have the rugby kick. You've got to be able to have the Australian end-over-end kick, and then maybe the old-school coffin corner kick.
Cunningham stays in at quarterback for the Gold. Handoff goes up the middle, and that is Barber. Barber backs his way up to the 23-yard line. Pickup of about 3.
Even though he did not make the tackle on the play, Troy Jones, the nose tackle from St. Elizabeth, did a great job there of occupying 2 blockers, allowing his linebackers to scrape. He's a big boy with really good hands.
So far, leading rusher in the game is Amir Madry of Howard. And the leading passer in the game is Desai Drummond for the Gold. Right now it's Middletown's Darian Cunningham in the gun, flanked by Judea Barber of Red Lion. Receiver goes in motion. That's Zachy Williams. Rolling far side, throw far flat. Good sideline pattern and pass complete for a first down up around the 33.
Cunningham did a terrific job there of outrunning the leverage player on the outside of the blue team to get himself free. That bought him an extra couple seconds where he was allowed that outside breaking route to develop. A really nice throw by Cunningham on the run.
I think that was Montabell on the reception again. Well, he already has several catches in this game.
3rd catch of the game and just missed that touchdown one going left to right off his fingertips.
Twins top and bottom of your screen. Cunningham fakes it, throws near side, tries to set up a wide receiver screen, and well defended by the blue. Nowhere for Kamaj Kearney to go.
Well, that is the rocket screen. You fake the ball to the right, you come back to the left, you have blockers out in front, and that was just really well diagnosed there by Noah Johnson from Christiana.
Good to see a Christiana player making some good plays in this game. It's been a tough few years for the football programs in the Christina School District.
But we always know there are going to be a couple good players there, and it's great to see these young men getting an opportunity to showcase their skills.
Cunningham almost drew the blue off, and I think maybe he did. There is a flag. Again, another penalty against
Nick
the blue.
Webb, the big defensive end and defensive tackle from Brandywine, just being a little too aggressive early on. They're trying to anticipate the count. What you don't want to do is watch the quarterback. The quarterbacks now are so clever with voice inflection and fake claps and all that. What you really want to do, don't look at the ball. Look at the man in front of you. He's going to tell you everything you need to know. Too many people look in and they lose that first step.
Cunningham rolls far side. Got around the one defender, got the edge at the 40, and goes out of bounds close to a first down. And you can see why this Middletown Cavalier quarterback rushed for over 650 yards and guided his team to a championship.
Well, you got to love his versatility, the fact that he can throw, he can run, he can kick. How about a really fine block there by the wide receiver, Zachy Williams from Odessa. Took out 2 blue defenders out on the right flank.
A couple of Appoquinimink School District players working together.
Heck, with that all, if they had consolidation, they'd all be teammates, wouldn't they?
Yeah, my goodness. So apparently Cunningham went out of bounds a yard shy of the first down. So it's 3rd and short, tight formation.
Here's a little version of the phalanx or the earthquake.
Kearney's back there. He's going to take the direct snap. Has the first down and more. He gets all the way up across the 45 to the 47. He picked up 5 yards.
Mason Spears from Smyrna, surprisingly, with a good lead block. Spears is a tough dude. He plays along the line of scrimmage. He can play in the backfield as an H-back. They're going to continue to employ this.
Yeah. Kearney, left side this time, follows the block. Gets good yardage across midfield into blue territory down to 46. And Mike Judy, one thing he's done since he got to Smyrna, there's a set of players that play offense and players that play defense, and they do not play on the opposite squads. However, they do in this formation.
Yes, you are absolutely right, and it's the great versatility when you have that many good players that you can do that.
Ooh, Kearney stood up, gets away, and got back and maybe gained a yard to the 45. What a hard hit.
That was Trubiano, the Sally's linebacker, who had to face that Smyrna earthquake several times during the season, in the playoffs and in the regular season. He's got a great feel for that. What this does is, though, it forces a team to prepare for something they almost never see. And you know what this really is, Glenn, at the end of the day? This is single wing football.
Yeah.
Without the spinner play.
Kearney Checks the sideline, see if there's any change.
Two tight ends, 4 backs in
Yeah.
the backfield.
Barber back there with him. Goes right behind his blocker. Tackled from behind. I think he's going to be, he might have the first down.
What's interesting about this formation, and again, we'll describe it, you're going to have 2 tight ends. You obviously have the 5 offensive linemen. Then you have 2 H-backs or fullbacks, whatever you want to call them, usually positioned in the B gap right between the tackles and the guards. And then you have 2 running backs side by side. Tower Hill's made this formation famous over the years under Kevin Wasco, and his son Michael ran it. Now they've gotten a little bit more into a spread formation in recent years to take advantage of his son's really good passing. But this is an expansion of the old Princeton single wing that you saw back when Teddy Roosevelt tried to outlaw football.
Oh, my gosh, Bill. I said you were the veteran announcer. You certainly are, sir. All right, Cunningham back in. They hand off to Barber, and he scoots down to the 40-yard line.
Now you're aging me up here, aren't you?
Yeah, I think you did it yourself. You don't need any help from me, Bill.
You talked about Barber from Ed Lyon. I saw this young man over the years in a couple games I called and on tape and some games I scouted. He runs with a low center of gravity. He's got great pad level and finishes runs as well as any running back in the state.
1,500 yards plus this year, 20 rushing touchdowns. He's a tough little kid. Not little. He's just, you're right. He's just built to be your typical, almost like a fullback, but he has the speed of a halfback. Under 3 minutes to go in the half. We're scoreless. Cunningham in a quarterback. Second down and 6. Fakes the handoff, rolls topside, throws a little bit too low for his intended receiver and incomplete. That was intended for number 16, Jaden Miner.
That was a nice little play fake. He was looking for Miner early, and then Miner got turned around. I think Cunningham really just made a decision there to throw the ball away and live to play another down. That's what I like about this young man. He's really smart. He's got a great football IQ, knows when to make a play, and then when maybe not to force the ball into any bad position.
Cunningham will be matriculating to West Virginia State in the fall.
My good friend Warren Wood, who played at St. Mark's, coached him there. Then he assisted at Friends School for a long time, went down there, and he's now at Delaware State. But he did a great job at West Virginia State as outside linebacker coach as well as recruiting this area.
And now we've got a timeout. I think the Gold wants to discuss this. And they'll stop the clock with 2:45 to go in this scoreless first half, Bill. And so far, I think a little bit of what we expected, the Gold going predominantly with the passing game and the Blue with the running attack. And maybe the difference so far has been the Blues' penalties.
It has been no doubt of that. I think the Blue, they would have scored. Gaiman scored on that play. Now, you always can say, well, maybe the penalty didn't allow the tackler to make the play. So let's just put it this way. 3 big ill-timed penalties against the Blue team has really hurt their drive. The Gold, I feel like they're just starting to get into a rhythm. They found it here with the earthquake or the single wing attack. They use Cunningham out on the flank very successfully. So right now I think both teams are still feeling each other out, and we may go into the first half that way. But this is going to be a really tough contested game. A turnover, one big play, maybe a trick play or something might be able to sway the advantage one way or the other. But a fairly evenly played game, I think. The good news is these aren't those bad, terrible penalties where you get a personal foul. These are just holdings and blocking in the back, things that is just sometimes hard to avoid when you're playing a game that you haven't played in 7 months.
Now this time Cunningham's up under center. First time for the Gold. Yeah, there's a handoff, then a pitch out, and the pitch out was fumbled, and that allowed the Blue defense to get on the ball carrier, Deshaun Bain from Delmar, and there'll be a loss on the play.
Well, that had a lot of people involved. That had Cunningham under, that had Parson, the quarterback from Lake, it had Bain from Delmar, a lot of these great downstate players. That was an unbalanced set into the boundary. I think that had some trick play characteristics to it. But well diagnosed by the Blue team, and when you don't have a lot of time, you don't have a scouting report on the other team, I think both defenses have done a pretty good job here of being in the right position. And you know your tackling just isn't going to be as on point as it would be during the regular season just because you haven't had a chance to practice it as much.
Cunningham and the quarterback. He also does the punting. It's 4th down and 8. Rolls left, sets up. Now he rolls He throws downfield, coming back to get the ball and making the catch inside the 10-yard line. There's a flag down. Montebell trying to give him a little extra block, and who caught that? Number 7 made the catch. That's Mark Patterson from Dover High.
Well, Patterson did first of all, it starts with Cunningham avoiding the rush. Steps up into the pocket, works out to the right, kept his eyes down the field, and Patterson did a great job of boxing him out. Almost looked like a rebounder blocking out. Looks like the New York Knickerbockers playing. And he did a great job of securing the ball with some pretty good defensive pressure all over him.
The flag is pass interference. Of course, that'll be nullified. They'll take the play. It's a 35-yard pass play. Cunningham to Patterson, and that will give the Gold first and goal with 2:21 to go in the half. Just inside the 5 at the 4.
And guess what? The earthquake is back in effect.
I don't blame them. It's Kearney and Barber. Kearney takes it, follows the block, and cuts it back, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown.
Eventually, sometimes this power football just wears you down. That time, the left edge of the blue team was a little suspicious there. They did not take their gap control, and a really good job by Spears and others blocking up front.
Yeah.
That was a great drive. Cunningham made a couple great plays to free up his teammates, and Patterson the great catch. And then I think the Gold team figuring out, hey, we can use this earthquake offense upfield as well as short yardage as well as red zone.
And it looks like they're going to go with it on the 2-point try. And they will. Kearney will most likely take the snap. He has Barber to his right. Kearney takes it, follows Barber, cuts it back to the left, tripped up, and he dives into the end zone for the 2-point try. 26 times this year, and back in the fall, Kearney converted on runs like that.
What I like about Kamar Kearney is his patience. He knows he's run behind, this formation enough to know where the seams develop and when they develop. And he does a great job of allowing his blockers to do their job, and then when he takes a gap, he takes it with great alacrity, a really good runner who has great experience in that formation. And I'll tell you what, it takes that. You just can't go in having never really run in it before to understand the nuances of it.
Well, we talk so much during the broadcast about good football IQ, and Kearney is another one that possesses that, along with the Cunningham, along with Orsini, along with Madry. These kids these days, they're not just talented physically, running the football, making a catch, making a talented and acrobatic play. They have good football IQ, and they make good decisions.
And I give the coaching staffs on both sides a real credit of putting players in the right position where they can excel and to use that football intellect.
Here's the kickoff for the Gold. It's a low squib kick. It'll be taken on the fly at the 21-yard line up across the 30. Now trying to go the opposite direction. That's number 1, Dante Brooks from Delaware Military. Now he comes back in the other direction, and he may answer immediately. He's inside the 20, the 10, the 5, and he scores. Started at the 21.
No flags, the most important thing.
Yes. Wow.
So many times when you see massive reversals of field, you're going to look for big losses. But that time, that was not the case. The Gold team, and again, special teams, you don't have as much time to make sure you have lane integrity on your kickoffs and being sure you have safeties in the right spot. But that was just an unbelievably great individual play. The reversal of field, the key.
Oh, my gosh. Dante Brooks, he started up to the right. Then he cut it back to the left, spun around, brought it back to the right, and he had a host of blue jerseys with him, escorting him down to the pylon.
Usually that's one of those where the head coach throws up his hands. Oh, no, yes, great play.
Yeah, right.
And clearly that's usually what you see in basketball on a bad shot that goes in. But that was just a terrific, creative run by Dante Brooks.
And the Blue will try to tie it up and go for 2. They're not going to go to Matteo Broccolente in the extra point try.
And this is Wasco, the left-handed quarterback from Tower Hill.
Throws in the end zone. It completes the pass for the 2-point try. And making that reception was number 10. That's Hagenberg.
Not the least bit surprised. Michael Wasco is a really good quarterback. Coach's son. Started for 3 years, played a lot as a freshman. He's got great skill set, a very bright young man, going to be a really good a football player as well at the next level. But Hagenberg has the unique ability to just find ways to get open, and that is much easier said than done. John Belace, a great coach up at Archmere, I used him in a lot of different fashions. He's a very versatile player, can play in the backfield, can play in the slot, can play wide out. He runs great patterns, and so I was talking to you guys in the pregame show. I had the absolute honor and pleasure of coaching him in basketball for 3 years. One of the really fine young men, but one of the best competitors I've ever coached.
What a swing of momentum. The Gold getting the long pass. They used that Smyrna earthquake formation to score a touchdown in the two-point try, and then the ensuing kickoff, the Blue took all that momentum back. Here's the kickoff. Broccolendi into the wind and into the end zone for the automatic touchback. What a kick.
And that's just a great thing to have. What a weapon. It saves your kickoff cover team from expending a lot of energy. It takes returners out of the business. What you need is a great leg. Broccoletti's had a terrific career over at St. Mark's for Joey Wright before he retired, and then Bill DiNardo, who took over. But this young man's got a great leg, as I mentioned, very versatile. Can place kick, can kick off, and also punt.
I would not be surprised, Bill, to see the Gold stay with that earthquake formation that Smyrna uses. And if they go down the field, fine. If not, run out the final 147 of the half and go in tied at 8.
Well, we didn't have any scoring at all for 21 minutes, and here we've had 16 points in the last minute.
Yeah, less than that, probably. How about 17, 18 seconds?
Drummond back in at quarterback. We're going to use their spread.
Okay.
Not listening to you, Glenn, though.
No,
I
they're
liked
not.
your call.
Okay. Drummond looks at his receivers on the left. Now he brings Kearney in motion. And I think we had some premature movement before the snap. Oh, delay a game on the Gold. Okay. First penalty on the Gold in quite a while. The Blue was kind of dominating that category.
Unfortunately, and that's what kept the game actually nothing for a long time until the Blue finally ran. And that kickoff return, Glenn, is usually where you might see 4 flags on that play. And miraculously, they had none.
Yeah, unbelievable. 79-yard kickoff return for Dante Brooks. All right. Let's see if Kearney, who's in the slot, goes in motion again, and he will. Drummond back. Those far sideline. Great attempt at that, and Kearney couldn't bring it in. Kind of turned him around a little bit.
Now, both teams have 3 timeouts. If the Gold wants to throw the ball again and have it incomplete, that'll allow plenty of opportunities for the Blue to get the ball back.
I'm sorry, that was not Kearney on the intended reception. There's the number. That was actually number 21, Malachi Hayes out of Woodbridge. Jed Bell, who's very active in the DFRC and helping out with his time and efforts. Did a great job down there at Woodbridge for many years. Nice defensive play that time on Desai Drummond.
Let me tell you something. Nybree Davis came off the edge there with a terrific rip and run move. He looked like a pro coming off the edge. Miles Garrett did a great job there of running the rim, as we call it. He got his left foot down on the ground and got to Drummond before he had an opportunity to do anything. Good, smart timeout here by the Blue team.
Yeah, sure is. Conserved clock, 1:20 to go, and the Gold has 3rd down and almost 20 to go here after the sack all the way back at the 10-yard line.
And that's the problem when you throw the ball on 1st down. I understand it's an all-star game and you're trying to get some yardage and showcase your players, but in a situation like this, in the waning moments of the half, you give the Blue team an opportunity not only to get the ball back, but possibly get the ball back in great field position. And with a place kicker, they might have a chance to kick a long-range field goal.
Well, the way he kicked off after the kickoff return touchdown, he booted that into the stiff breeze. Nick Halliday says 50-mile-an-hour winds. Maybe not quite. A little exaggeration.
Nick, you're
there.
talking about the winds at Shinnecock today at the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
They were blowing 35.
But he kicked into the end zone for a touchback into that wind.
Yes, he did. And
So,
I'm going to give it a 15 to 18-mile-an-hour wind.
Oh, yeah.
Is that okay, Nick?
Every bit. Maybe he said 15. That sounds like 50 with headsets on. Now let's see what the Gold tries to do here with 3rd down and 20. Long signal count. Drummond takes a snap. Takes it. Pressure's coming. Now throws far side. Looks for Montebill. Underthrows him a little bit.
Boy,
It was an off-balance throw.
dangerous pass, not only to throw the ball as you're going down, but also throw the ball back across your body to the open side of the field. At that point, you might be better served. Just throw it out of bounds to the near side.
Well, this will be an interesting punt with the win for Darian Cunningham.
And that allowed the Blue to conserve a timeout as well.
Yeah. Stops the clock with 1:12 to go in the half.
Are you interested, Glenn, on 3rd and 20+ that you would run a play fake pass?
Listen, you heard what I said.
I'm not sure that held me up here.
Yeah. I wanted to start that series with the earthquake anyhow.
Yes, you did. And I think you might have been better served.
Back deep, we have Farrell, number 15, and Gaiman, number 18. Oh, high snap. Cunningham just got that off side of his foot.
Going to be roughing the punter, Glenn.
Oh, okay. Flag is in the end zone.
Now, it may be running into the kicker. I'm not sure which one they're going to call, but unfortunately, if you don't have a lot of time to practice it, you never want to aim at the punter. You're always aiming about a yard in front of the punter's landmark leg.
Personal foul. They're going to call roughing the kicker, so that will give possession back to the Gold.
And that was going to be ideal position there.
Yeah.
And so many times you want to tell people in special teams, pressure may be every bit as good as a block. And that means, hey, let's be really smart. Let's run the right angles. Let's get to our spots. Because the worst thing is to do that when you have a bad punt that only travels 15 yards. You're going to have ideal field position or negate a really good return by your returner.
And let's face it, these kids are playing in their final high school football game, and they're passionate, and they want to make a play, and, you know, they're just a little over-exuberant sometimes,
I understand that, and I'm not being hypercritical.
No, I know you're not.
I get it, but you're also playing, hopefully, not to make those kind of mistakes. And the Blue has been penalized here substantially, especially big penalties and bad timing of penalties.
Drummond gives it to the receiver in motion, broke one tackle, up to across the 30 and stepped out of bounds, and that was number 14, Zachy Williams, the Odessa Duck. We got another flag? I didn't see that one. So, Bill, we're closing out officially this high school football season in 25-26, and coming up next year, 26-27, will be the final year of high school sports where we don't have divisions in every sport. The following season, basketball will have multiple divisions, softball, baseball, volleyball, right. Changes are afoot, my friend, whether we like it or not.
Yes, they are, Glenn. And we will see how the world adapts to them.
Yes.
Or at least the world of Delaware high school sports.
Yeah. Of course, the football, they did their thing a couple of years back, moving from 2 divisions to 3. And Bill and I were talking about off the air. We both remember, now I'm going to age myself, Bill, because I was in high school.
Thanks for trying to catch up to me, Glenn.
I'm trying to catch up to you, Bill. When I was a senior in high school, it was the very first state championship football game played right here in this stadium, Middletown against the now defunct Wilmington Red Devil High School. And it was a 13-6 ball game won by Wilmington, but there were only 4 teams. The whole state, only 4 teams, no divisions that made the tournament, and it was that way for 4 years.
And also, to your point, there were a number of teams that were not even eligible. The Independent Conference, Tower Hill, Friends, Tatnall, they were not even eligible to play in any of the state tournaments back then in any sport.
That's right. That's right.
Friends School played in their first football state tournament in 1979, played against Indian River, and they had a player named Harmon who was pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
We do spell our names differently, but I wish I had some of his genetics.
That's a really, really good.
Harmon and Jarman, they could really run.
Sussex County names there. All right, the Gold really got backed up on that penalty. So now with just a minute to go in the half, tied at 8, you don't want to do anything here.
They're still
to
staying
turn
in
it
the
over.
gun.
Yeah, they are.
Thought they might go to the earthquake as you had mentioned earlier.
Drummond. Little out router pass. That's Patterson at Dover, and he crashes up to the 20-yard line.
I've always been impressed with Drummond's quick release. He gets the ball out of his hands. He has a great load. He gets it out quickly. He's a very accurate passer. That was a very fine pass out there in the flat to Patterson. And I get it. A player like Patterson might be able to catch the ball and then break a tackle, especially in space to the wide side of the field. He could go the distance.
He was Patterson was second team 3A at wide receiver. He's a D-back wide receiver. He's going to Delaware Valley in Pennsylvania, and he's reunited on the gold team today with a friend of his. They played together at Dover High when they were freshmen, and that friend then went to Polytech and got added to the squad, and that was, I believe, Tyler Rosen, who's headed to York College and was the outstanding Henlopen Conference wrestler this year. Yeah, those two played together as freshmen at Dover, and they were really excited about getting back together. Rosen was a late addition to the Gold squad, came down just before Sunday.
I didn't realize York had football.
How about that?
Is he wrestling there, or is it football?
He might be wrestling there, Tyler Rosen. I'm not sure
That's
on
going to
that.
be my guess. I'm pretty sure that York does not have football.
Okay.
Division III school, a really fine school, though, in York, PA.
Second down, about 15. Drummond, straight back, steps up, throws far side, catches made just shy of the 30-yard line.
It's another really good open field tackle by Michael Donovan from Archmere. Father, one of the assistant football coaches for John Belace at Archmere, a very fine athlete himself. Mike did a great job of getting his body better in the last 2 years. Really put on some great weight, a very tough player, smart guy, and a very good open field tackler. I'll tell you one thing Drummond does really well, you talked about it, steps up in the pocket. He climbs the pocket extremely well, keeps his body in good form, maintains his platform, and delivers the ball really well on the move in the pocket.
Has a strong arm, too, and you need a strong arm to make that pass there to the sidelines. I got to tell you, I worked the sidelines for the UD crew and radio back in '07. Nobody threw that pass better than Joe Flacco.
I was down at Delaware's first practice when Joe Flacco came in from Pittsburgh. And I'm not going to tell you any more than when I saw the first pass, a 10-yard out, leave his hands, I said, holy cow, that's way different than I've ever seen.
Oh,
he
man.
spun it so tight and so quick and with such velocity. Don't get me wrong. I didn't know he would develop like he did. But from an arm standpoint, I couldn't agree with you more.
Man.
He was so fluid, and he had a true cannon.
He had a rifle, yes, for sure. All right, here we go out of the timeout. Third down and 5. Blue called the timeout, hoping they get the ball back. Kearney on the last reception. Drummond, quarterback draw. Oh, good ankle tackle made.
Roman Trubiano from Salesianum comes in. As I mentioned earlier, he has a great feel for his run fits, an outstanding tackler, going to be a student at Penn State, but I'll tell you what, he had a terrific high school football career for Gene Deladon. He was one of their captains.
He sure did. And that might just run the clock out. I think Blue is out of timeouts. And we're down to 8 seconds. Goal's just going to let this run out. Very entertaining first half, Bill. And as you mentioned, no scoring for a majority of the game. And then with 2:05 to go in the half, Kearney on a 4-yard run, he ran the conversion in. But on the ensuing kickoff, Dante Brooks ran it back 79 yards. And then Wasco's pass to Hagenberg, and we're all tied up, brother.
Yeah, what a fun first half. I know there have been some penalties and a couple fumbles and maybe a few questionable plays, but I'll tell you what, I like the intensity out there. The kids are really playing the right way. We haven't had any of those crazy penalties that you get sometimes in these games. So a very well-played game, and I think what you're seeing here is really the product of when you only have 4 days of practice, and that's not the kids' fault. It's just the way the schedule worked out this year, but credit to the coaches to get some sort of product out there that is a lot of fun to talk about. And we've got some great players here this afternoon.
Okay, Bill, we're all tied up at 8 in the Blue Gold All-Star game. We're going to send things back and pay a few bills. Our fine sponsors, please patronize them here on 302 Sports YouTube channel. Hope you're enjoying the live stream.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822.
Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes.
Wraps, signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life.
I think I've always known he was going to do something like this. He did not want to do active duty because he wants to do college first. I think that was the biggest thing for him, instead of waiting and then doing college after.
One of the differences I noticed when he came back from basic training, he was more organized in how he's going about things a little bit. I know he commented that a lot of things his classmates would do that it didn't bother him before, but now he realizes, because he's been outside of high school, I think maybe he's a little more responsible.
He's thinking about his future a lot more. He talks about it and the different possibilities. And he mentioned the ROTC program as well. And he said, I could graduate as an officer. And so I was kind of excited when he mentioned that he could do that as well.
I would just tell people, if their son or daughter was considering the National Guard, that I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's something that can really help somebody grow. And at the same time, you're serving your country, which is a great thing too. So I think it's a good opportunity.
First State Orthopedics has 46 physicians and 22 physician's assistants at 16 locations across the state of Delaware. We provide both surgical and non-surgical treatment for a variety of orthopedic conditions, are specially trained in current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physicians for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to all local emergency departments, medical aid units, and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Give us a call today at 302-731-2888 or visit us online at firststateortho.com.
Matt's Fish Camp has 3 locations, all conveniently located on Route 1 in Lewis, Bethany Beach, and Fenwick Island. Matt serves fresh seafood, coastal classics, and Sussex County comfort food. With an array of camp cocktails, craft ales, and a carefully selected wine list, there's something for everyone on the menu. Matt's is the place you can bring your family for dinner, grab lunch during the week, or hang with friends at happy hour. Each location offers unique outdoor dining and a raw bar featuring fresh, local oysters. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop into Matt's Fish Camp in Lewis, Bethany, or Fenwick.
Paint Doctor, making house calls for your sick walls. Richard C. Edwards Jr., the owner of Paint Doctor, started it all in 2002. Paint Doctor prides itself on its personal yet professional approach to working with customers and holds itself to the highest standards with all projects. The Paint Doctor staff follows one main objective when performing our services. Customers and their homes are treated with the utmost respect. Our workmanship and quality of personnel is demanded at every step of the project. We treat your home as we would expect someone to treat ours. Preparation before painting is paramount. Just open the door and we will handle the rest. Paint Doctor also believes in a strong community involvement as well by supporting several local sporting teams, leagues, and schools. Paint Doctor services include interior and exterior painting as well as carpentry. Please visit our website at paintdoctorpainting.com for information or coupons to help with your next job.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
The Clubhouse at Baywood is a full-service restaurant and premier wedding and event venue in coastal Delaware. Located just a few miles from Lewis and Rehoboth Beach, this all-inclusive venue features breathtaking views, stunning indoor and outdoor spaces, and a team of professionals to help you plan your dream wedding. From our in-house florist to our award-winning culinary team, we will take care of everything, making sure your day will be one to remember. Reach out today to schedule your tour at Baywood.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822.
Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes.
Wraps, signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life.
I think I've always known he was going to do something like this. He did not want to do active duty because he wants to do college first. I think that was the biggest thing for him, instead of waiting and then doing college after.
One of the differences I noticed when he came back from basic training, he was more organized in how he's going about things a little bit. I know he commented that a lot of things his classmates would do that it didn't bother him before, but now he realizes, because he's been outside of high school, I think maybe he's a little more responsible.
He's thinking about his future a lot more. He talks about it and the different possibilities. And he mentioned the ROTC program as well. And he said, you know, I could graduate as an officer. And so I was kind of excited when he mentioned that he could do that as well.
I would just tell people, you know, if their son or daughter was considering the National Guard, that I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's something that can really help somebody grow. And at the same time, you're serving your country, which is a great thing too. So I think it's a good opportunity.
Welcome back to Delaware Stadium. Glenn Fraser alongside Bill Harmon with Craig Leskowski on camera work, and producing is Nick Halliday. Glad you're with us here on our 302 Sports YouTube channel and enjoying our free live stream here as we have a very entertaining end of the first half as we end up with an 8-8 tie going into the locker room. And Bill, again, great momentum swing. The goal went surprisingly to that Smyrna earthquake formation and had success with it. That's how they scored and got the conversion, and then flipped the switch, the blue with Dante Brooks, that gets the momentum right back.
Well, I thought the goal team had really asserted themselves, and to go in with an 8-0 lead at halftime in a game like this might be a tough one to overcome, but that return was just unbelievable. The ability to have the vision and the foresight to change fields that quickly, and then for the blue team not to have any blocking penalties. You almost always see a hold or a block on the back because of that reversal, going hard left and then back to the right. Really was an outstanding play and showed great speed. What a dynamic play and player that was.
Early on in this game, Amir Madre was the feature running back for the Blue. He's the leading rusher in the first half with about 50 yards on the ground. They're using him well, along with Jasir Gamon as well. Good blocking backs in front. They started out in the gun, and you were kind of surprised that Orsini went under center and they went with the I formation.
Well, they did a really good job of that, and I really credit the coaching staff for that move, Matt Carey from DMA, but also their excellent blocking of the converted fullback, Vaughn Brooks from McCain, did a great job with the lead blocks. The Blue offensive line, I think, kind of liked that. They were able to run that stretch play. When Gaiman came in, he was a nice twist from Madry in that he's a little bit quicker and runs at a different level. And I'll tell you what, he had a terrific run on that touchdown that was unfortunately called back on a holding penalty. But look for him to be featured a little bit more along with Madry in the second half. I thought Orsini handled himself real well, whether he was in the gun or under the center, or behind the center, I should say. And then he threw some good balls. But excellent quarterback play by both Drummond and Cunningham for the goal team, I think, were the highlights for them.
Definitely. Montabell made some pretty good catches. Kearney has contributed as well. Of course, he scored the touchdown and the two-point try. And also Patterson, he caught the pass that set up the touchdown play, that 35-yard.
And we were both impressed with Barber from Red Lion Christian,
yes,
who had some good runs. He's also a very good blocker in the earthquake as well.
Yeah, and a good blocker helping to protect those quarterbacks back there. So the gold is predominantly gone with Cunningham and with Desai Drummond. We'll see if they change that up in the second half, because they have a couple other quarterbacks very talented on the team, and one is the Lake Forest quarterback. Name escapes me. Jackson Parson.
Jackson Parson.
Yep.
Very
and
good.
then, of course, Vincent Evans
Vincent
III,
Evans.
and we haven't called his name hardly at all. I think he was back on
he
a
was
punt
involved
return.
in one. He was also involved on one play where they had the stretch play out of the
That's right.
unbalanced set into the boundary. But you're right. And we've talked so much offense, but maybe we should talk a little bit more
Yeah,
defense.
yeah.
Both defenses only allowing 8 points, and the goal team actually has only given up a special teams play, and it was a long pass against the Blue that hurt them. But there's been some outstanding play. I thought Mike Donovan's had some nice plays out at cornerback. The linebacker from Salesianum, Roman Trubiano, has been very good. So has Joseph DeMaine, the fine inside linebacker from Caravel. And we had some outstanding just all-round play by that defensive backfield to bottle up the passing game of the Blue team for the most part, and some good interior play by Settles from St. George's as well.
Good offensive line play from both teams, but I'm going to highlight this Blue offensive line. The center, Caceres from Howard. Also in there, Anthony Spinato from Salesiano. Caesar Thomas from Howard. I think Vance also, Stephen Vance from Delaware Military. Josh Cox, Archmere. That offensive front has done a good job blocking for the running attack of the Blue.
Well, they certainly have, and I think the Blue team came out and decided to throw early, and then they got back into the regiment of the eye, and also just some running game as well with Madre and Gaiman. So they've got some versatile ways to attack the goal, but the goal team's held up fairly well against that pretty good offensive line of the Blue team, as you just highlighted.
Saw some good defensive plays. I remember you calling a couple of times a Cape Henlopen defender who was doing a good job for the Gold, and was that Peyton?
That's going to be Robbie Payton, yes.
Yeah. Second team linebacker in Class 3A, 5'10", 205 pounds. Good baseball player, too. He played on Cape's baseball team that got in the tournament and had a pretty good season. We've got a lot of multi-sport athletes out here playing in this game tonight, Bill. Vince Evans played in all 3 All-Star games in every sport he was in. Football, basketball, and baseball. How about that?
That's pretty special. There's some great athletic genetics in that family, obviously. Going to Presbyterian to play baseball, as you highlighted earlier on. And I love the fact that we've got multiple sport athletes. Archmere has a number of guys that play multiple sports. Some that play 3 sports at Archmere. Cooper Strauss for Friends plays 3 sports at Friends. So that's the way, especially some of the smaller schools, that's the only way they can survive. You have to have a lot of participation from your best athletes. But even at the bigger schools, the ability to play 2 or maybe even 3 sports in some of those Division III teams, the third level, that's amazing. It is so competitive, and the fact that you just don't have as much time to hone your skills in all the sports.
You know, I want to correct something I said earlier about the 2 Dover freshmen who played together at Dover High, and then one player went a different direction, and it was Nevon Pierce from Lake Forest, who's going to go to college at Wilkes University in Pennsylvania. He was the freshman with Mark Patterson of Dover. Those are the 2 that were really excited that they found out they were on the Gold roster and they were going to get to play with each other again one more time. They met when they were young in middle school down at Central Middle in the Dover School District, and that's just a great story for those 2 to team up once again. We love those kind of stories in this All-Star game.
I couldn't agree with you more. And the friendships that you make during this week at the Blue Gold game can last you an entire lifetime. You've got your buddy that you keep for then, your roommate or people that you've bonded with, that you've played against and competed against for years, and now you get to meet them as a teammate or maybe as an opposing player in the Blue Gold game. It is such a special moment in these young men's lives. It's just really influential and impactful for the rest of their life.
Speaking of buddies, I want to mention once again that the all-star buddies for this game, the gold buddy is Levi Wolf, a 13-year-old young person from Cantwell Bridge Middle School. That's in the Appoquinimink School District over there in that Odessa complex, just south of Odessa. And then the blue all-star buddy, a high schooler from Glasgow High, Stuart Neely. And congratulations to those 2, because it's quite an honor to be named the all-star buddy representing your team. All right, the blue team has returned to the field. Gold will be kicking off to start the second half of action, and the blue will have the wind with them here in the third quarter.
Interesting decision for the Gold to kick off into the wind. They clearly want the win for the fourth quarter. I always worry that you might lose the game in the third quarter.
Yeah, right.
And even though you have the win, but hey, I'm not going to overthink this or critique Coach Townsend. He's done a great job, both coaches. Matt Carey from DMA for the Blue and Philip Townsend from Indian River for the Gold team. Done a great job, especially with the time constraint. Such a short week, one scrimmage. They come in on Sunday. I know we talk about this, but you need to make that point because it really becomes so important that you get a lot of work done on the board and your time off the field to make sure you can put a package together where 11 guys are playing as one.
Kicking off for the Gold will be A.J. Bonus from Newark Charter. Back deep, near side is Jasir Gaiman from Salesian, and far side is Isaiah Farrell from Howard. Now let's see if he kicks it deep. Another squib kick taken by the up back, 23-yard line. It's the same one that scored the touchdown, Dante Brooks. He lost the ball, and I think the Gold might have it. Almost looked like he wanted to pitch it back to a teammate.
I would agree
Bill.
with you. He was looking either to reverse out of there or to pitch it back to a trailer. I don't think it was a trick play. I think that was something he was trying to do kind of ad hoc on his own.
So a turn of events to start the third quarter. The Gold comes up with it in good field position at the blue 40-yard line.
Well, beside big plays, the huge run back on the first kickoff return, then it can be a turnover or a mistake in the defensive backfield, something to kind of open up this game. Let's see if the Gold team can take advantage of this ideal field position here at the start of the second half.
Looks like we might have a different quarterback. Let's check and see.
I think it's still Cunningham, is it not?
Yeah, you got that jersey all tucked. There you go. Pull that down. I can read your number, buddy.
Gold team's going to use a tight end, as they have done about 50% of the time in the first half.
Patterson in motion. Barber gets it started right, cuts it back left, and just meets a wall of blue defenders for no gain.
Well, that's the problem. If you don't get the handoff correctly or your initial holes bottled up, sometimes you're much better off just taking what yardage is there and diving forward. If you reverse field against linebackers that can run, Trubiano, and this was Devane on the tackle. He's had an outstanding game, has Joseph Demain from Caravel.
Cunningham checks into the huddle with the play from the sideline. It's 2nd and 10 from the 40 after the fumble on the kickoff. Patterson will split to the near side. Kamaj Kearney is the wideout top side. Montebell inside of him. And they also use a wingback. Cunningham surveys the defense. Drops straight back. Looks downfield. He's going to throw the home run ball. Center of the field. Double coverage. Catch is made. Oh, it's intercepted. Yeah, it's catch is made, all right. Dante Brooks might end up early candidate for player of the game here.
Cunningham, off a play fake, kind of slid in the pocket to the left, but unfortunately his eyes were riveted down the middle of the field, and Dante Brooks from DMA did a great job of reading the quarterback eyes. That's what you want your two high safeties to do. He was in perfect position to double team and make that terrific interception in the end zone.
Made up for the fumble on the kickoff. So the Blue will get it right back after just 2 plays at their own 20-yard line with the win. And they'll go under center with Orsini.
Power eye.
Yeah. Oh, good defensive stop right at the point of contact on Madry.
Power eye is where you have 2 lead backs and a tailback. What a really fine play there by the inside linebacker Isaiah Melton from Odessa came up to wrap up. So now the Blue team's going to do their version of the earthquake, and that's with 2 tight ends and 3 running backs along with the quarterback.
Devon Pierce also getting an assist in there, and we just talked about him from Lake Forest going to Wilkes University in PA.
This is Wasco, the quarterback, under center, still staying in the power eye with 2 tight ends.
Pitch out, option. The sweep far side. Madry broke a tackle, has the first down across midfield, and bounces out in Gold territory. What a tough runner.
That's the problem when you try to tackle Madry up top with one player. He's going to break arm tackles, whether it's below the waist or above. He's got an excellent left arm, straight arm, especially when he runs to the right. He's a violent runner who can break tackles, but what I like about him is he's got great patience and knows when to turn on his burst.
I love that description. He is a violent runner. First down out across the 30 to the 32 and a 12-yard pickup for Madry.
Now, this is also unusual for Wasco to be under. He's been in gun his whole career at Tower Hill.
Give it to one of the upbacks. And number 40.
It's Devane.
Devane.
Devane not only can play linebacker, but how do you like that? You've got an inside linebacker and a fullback. Some of my favorite players. He is a really tough guy. Played for John Reed's great crew over the years. They've won a lot of games with Devane in the backfield and in the linebacker position.
Yeah, he's done a great job of blocking for Josh Roy the last few years, their feature halfback. But every once in a while, I think we had a game that we did where Roy was banged up and the fullbacks just took over. Pitch out, sweep coming near side, steps inside of one tackle, makes a good cutback all the way up to the 48-yard line, and another first down for the Blue.
When you can find two tight ends in today's high school world that can block the edges, and you've got a good five-man offensive line front, that forces the defense to be very balanced. They can't rotate. Now, by rule, the defenses can't do a whole lot, but they force them into a base position. But now you've got some players that are playing in areas that they don't normally like, edge players that aren't used to being there. The Blue team's doing a really nice job. This adjustment at halftime by Matt Carey, very influential early on here in the second half in this power I.
Bill, that was Hagenberg on the last carry. Now here's Madry right up the middle, crashes across midfield into goal territory and down to the 48-yard line.
Well, you throw Madry in there, who runs with violence, as I mentioned up top, and then there's Hagenberg, who also is super quick. But what he does, he has one of the best spin moves in the game. I've always told our defenders, when you tackle him, you have to be ready for him to work one of his hips out of your grasp. He is really good at that. He's got great action. He's a terrific athlete and runs with a low center of gravity when he's in there.
Wasco looks over the defense. Gives it to Madry again. Slips through a block on the left side and is just shy of the first down by a yard or two.
Not only does this give the Blue team an opportunity to assert themselves, it starts to take a little bit of a toll on the defense. They're out there for longer periods of time. That was Braden Hazard from Sussex Tech making the tackle from his defensive end position.
Hazard, 5'11", 185. Good baseball player. All right, third down and short.
This, to me, is four-down territory for the Blue team, especially the way they're running the ball.
Well, they hand it to a quick handoff there to number 44 again, and he easily has the first down yardage. There's that fullback from Caravel.
So it's Devane at fullback, but also have Brooks in there from McCain, who did some great blocking in the first half for the tailbacks, whether it be Madre or Gaiman. So this has really been a good change up here. At some point, the Blue team's got to make sure their defensive ends are squeezing, force the ball to bounce outside to where you can have the linebackers, corners, and safeties running to make that ball go side to side more than vertical.
Impressive drive right now by the Blue, all on the ground. Now this time, Watts goes back to pass, throws downfield, little contact and incomplete. Looked like incidental contact and no call.
He was looking for he has two tight ends in the game, Cooper Strauss in and also Nicholas Webb from Brandywine. They try to play action, so you've been pounding the ball. You come up with max protection, release just two players. That time the goal did a really good job of defending that play action.
Brings up second down and 10. We've got 7:06 left in this third quarter. We're tied at 8. Another tight formation. Looks like double tight ends. Pitch out, coming near side. Initially a good job to elude defenders, but then wrapped up and thrown back is Gaiman.
Gaiman had nowhere to go, and that's because Morgan Davis of Middletown did a great job of working down the line of scrimmage, using his leverage, pad leverage, and his hands to make an excellent one-on-one tackle. To handle Gaiman in the open field is pretty good by yourself.
That's impressive. So now third down and 10 after the incomplete and no gain on that run.
Tight ends are out of the game. They're going to go with their spread here.
Wasco got the play from the sidelines, hustled into the huddle. Payne split to the top of your screen. And now we got a whistle. Might get delay here. There's a flag. All right, the goal got the timeout before the flag. I think they might have bailed the Blue out.
They absolutely did, and that's a pretty close timing there. I thought that flag was down. He's going to wave it off, though. The timeout came prior to the flag being deposited on the turf here at Tubby Raymond Field.
Want to give our thanks again to the staff of the DFRC, the executive director, Marie Vaca, the hand-in-hand coordinator, Elaine Grunow, and the events coordinator, Fiona Walsh. And a special shout-out to Fiona Walsh, who helped get us set up here and confirmed to do this game in short notice. We almost had as much short notice, I think, as the players had to get ready for the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but you and Nick Halliday are as good as anybody. I'll tell you what, you were talking about that, the DFRC staff, terrific people.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the guys that just volunteer their time outside the coaching. John Wilson, the head coach at St. George's camp director. He's got Danny Ritter, Frank Moffitt, Brian Timpkins, and Zeb Blum, who donate their time to be around here during the week to help administrate everything. Then you've got Jody Russell, who's involved, along with Jed Bell, who you've mentioned. So these guys are away from their programs early at the beginning of the year, which is sometimes the most important time, to donate their time to the DFRC and make sure this game comes off as well as it can.
Wasco drops back to pass. Throws near sideline. It is complete, I think. No, they're going to say incomplete. He didn't have control. You mentioned those guys and other coaches, and thanks for that. I talked to Brian Timpson, the Apo football and softball coach down on the field earlier this evening, and he's in fine form. Says, I've been up here all week, and I said, I know you have. Great job.
Well, it's this feeling that they have for this game. Many of them have played in this game. A lot of them have coached in it. John Belace from Archmere has coached in this as an assistant coach a number of times. This is something these guys like to do. They love to donate their time to be around these young men and support this great cause.
Well, here's a punt, almost blocked. Nobody back deep. It'll just go harmlessly into the end zone and will be brought out to the 20-yard line. And you mentioned that, Bill. Both head coaches today, both Matt Carey for the blue and Philip Townsend for the gold, both played in this game.
I remember having to coach against Matt Carey, and he went on to have a terrific career at Penn. He was an excellent receiver. They were throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game back then. They had a Division II, Division I lineman that played. Thank heavens they didn't run the ball on us, but Matt Carey was always a really great competitor, ran great patterns, had great hands, and he's developed into a very fine coach. Number of years at McCain, and then has shifted over to DMA. And Matt, a really fine guy, but I tell you what, I remember him very well as a terrific receiver in his day at Howard.
Also the athletic director at Delaware Military Academy. All right, here we go with the gold now. Last time I had the ball, went 2 plays and gave it up on a turnover. So decide Drummond back in at QB. Barber to his right. Drummond will take it, run with it, out across the 25 and up near the 30-yard line. He'll gain 9.
That was actually Barber running the ball.
Really? Okay. I was going by those dark helmets.
Well, remember, they have their own helmets, but then they put all those decals in it. One of the real great traditions of this game, kids come in and trade their decals that they get from their head coaches and put them all over the helmets. I think it's a great tradition.
That's Barber with his best run of the game then. 9 yards, 2nd and 1. Oh, you're right. I think that's Vince Evans in the game now.
With Barber in the backfield as well.
Yeah, that was Evans on the last carry. Now he carries this time. He gets the first down. We were just talking about that we hadn't seen much of him in the first half. Now he's featured on this drive.
Vincent Evans from Seaford, as you mentioned, 3-sport athlete. Now, this guy can throw it. This guy can run it. He has great hips. He's very evasive. And I'll tell you what, if he gets in the open field, there aren't going to be too many guys who are going to be able to catch him. He has a great, great burst.
He was in the dunk contest at the basketball blue-gold game, the all-star game that we did. He did a jump where his dad, the coach, Vince Evans, he jumped over his dad and dunked the basketball. Led Seaford to the state championship in football, and he wasn't even going to play. They had to kind of coax him to come out and play. And then what did he do? He led the team to a state championship.
That time he hands it off to Barber, who runs inside into the waiting grasp of Stephen Vance from DMA.
He's had a good game. 1-yard pickup for Barber. It'll be 2nd down and 9. As we're down to 4:35 to go in this third quarter. We were tied at 8 at halftime, and that's where we stand. Kamaj Kearney will split to the top of your screen.
Some point here, it feels to me that the goal team's going to have to throw the ball, start throwing the ball again.
Well, Evans is he can do both. Fakes the handoff, takes it himself on the read option. Turns the corner, keeps his balance, and almost got up to the 48-yard line for another first down.
Evans is very elusive. He can make himself skinny at times to get to the edge. A really nice block out there from Emi Manu from
Manny Manu.
Manny Manu.
Gotta love that name.
How about that?
Early college high school.
Early college high school.
Yep.
Again, one of those programs that we talked about don't get a lot of recognition.
Right.
They're in their fledgling stages of their football life, and he's done a really nice job coming in blocking on the edge.
3.75 GPA, good for that young man. And best of luck to him in his future endeavors. All right, Evans this time, Barber to his left. Hands it off, Barber spin move, got away, Barber's loose. He's at the 40 and tackled from behind down at the 34-yard line.
What a terrific play there to make up for a missed tackle earlier by DeVar Rice Jackson from DMA. But this Barber runs with great leverage. He knows how to hit the hole. He never gives you a full body look at him. He bounces outside. He's got a burst, but I'll tell you what, he finishes runs extremely well.
We got to give a little credit to the Gold offensive line on this series. Doing a great job. Trying to pick up some numbers. I see number 51 out there for the Gold, and that is Jimmy McLean from Sussex Central. We'll get some of these other offensive linemen.
Settles is in the game, and they need to use him. He's an outstanding blocker from St. George's, one of John Wilson's really fine offensive and defensive linemen.
Evans takes off himself. Oh, he was hit, stuck, and he'll be thrown back. And there he is, number 42, Ruben Trubiano.
You guys would love this young man. I'll tell you what, he's a great student. He's a great citizen in the school. I believe he might have been the president of a senior class, had a lot of activities, and then to be able to be a captain at Salesianum football for Gene Deladon. Really one of the fine young men that program has produced.
All right, some of these other linemen in right now. Caesar Rodney's Deron Young. Also number 53, Tanner Smith from Caesar Rodney. I believe he's the center right now.
Settles is the right tackle.
Okay.
With an outstanding block on that last play as well.
And we've got number 77 out there as well. Premature movement up front. There's a late flag. Number 77 is Michael Toomey from Sussex Central. So a couple of riders, a Golden Knight, a St. George's Tech Hawk. And let's give that Gold O-line some credit.
Absolutely. They've been really tough. I'll tell you who I like. I've been watching the last couple of plays is Tanner Smith, the center. Does a really good job with the nose tackle. He's able to have some great footwork to work down the line of scrimmage.
So that's 5 yards against the Blue.
Is the Blue again hurting themselves with some of these penalties that we've chronicled that throughout the evening, unfortunately for them. They need to have that reduced to 0 here in the last quarter and 2 minutes.
And most of those penalties that hurt them were on offense, not defense. Second down and 5. New quarterback in now. Cunningham throws near side, completes it inside the 20. Dom Montebell with another reception, Bill.
Boy, Montebell has a great knack of knowing how to get open. That's what we call a flood pattern. There are 3 levels that they attack. Cunningham was able to roll out, so he got a great triangulation with his vision on that. Hit the second level to Montebell from Apo, and I'll tell you what, this Montebell not only has really fine hands, but he's very good after the catch. Back to your favorite formation, Glenn.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to go with the Earthquake, the Smyrna Earthquake. First and goal at the 9-yard line for the Gold. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. So that means Kamaj Kearney. And now more movement again. That time I think the Gold got caught.
I hope I don't jinx this, but both centers tonight have done an excellent job with their shotgun snaps. And usually in a game like this, you might see 2 or 3 high ones or a grounder. Both centers have done a magnificent job of snapping the ball not only accurately but on time.
Let's give some more offensive lineman names out there right now. Morgan Davis from Middletown. I saw him on the O-line. And now they're going to switch up personnel because of that penalty as they're pushed back to the 14.
Now they'll open up. They still have the H-back in the backfield with the 2 running backs and then 2 to the top side.
Cunningham hands it off right up the middle. Strong run by Barber, and he'll get inside the 10 down to the 7.
That's a play that has become so famous out of the gun now as the counter tray. The back is set to the opposite side. You block down on the front side. You pull the backside guard and tackle, and then that running back comes across the face. It gives great angles. You get a great kick-out block, and when you have a runner like Barber, it's very difficult to stop.
He's running a lot better here in the second half, but, hey, let's give credit to that O-line again. They're helping him out up front there. Second down and goal from the 7. Played handoff again, right up the middle. Barber got to the 5-yard line, maybe the 4.
Sometimes down in the red zone, it gets pretty tough running inside. A nice play there by Caesar Thomas from Howard. That big body going underneath there to make the tackle.
Caesar Thomas, 6'3", 300-pounder. He played offensive and defensive tackle during the season as we've got a timeout here, Bill, with just under a minute to go in the third. And the Gold on the move here, mostly on the ground in this drive.
Well, they like the blue team at the start of the half. They did a great job of figuring out going 2 tight ends and power I. This team now has found a way to get in, sometimes mixing in the earthquake, but along with just some really fine running from the backs. The counter tray has been a really good play for them in the second half.
We actually had a injury timeout by the officials. Blues, Dasan, number 2, that was Nybree Davis, who's had a really good game.
And fortunately, that is the first injury that we've seen actually on the field. So a good job by the coaching staff of getting these young men in great shape to play in a game like this that's so physical. And a credit to them for taking advantage of the time before the game to do that themselves.
I'm watching Nybree come off the field under his own power, walk behind the bench. It looks like he's okay. Back out on the field, 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line for the Gold. Cunningham in a quarterback.
I'm going to guess this is 4-down territory.
He surveys the defense. Low snap. He'll bring it near side. Pass. Caught for a touchdown. Number 16. That's Jaden Miner from Caesar Rodney. How about that? Dover to Caesar Rodney. 2 big rivals there, Bill.
Cunningham
did
a great job of rolling out to the right. That bought him enough time to survey the field, and then a really accurate throw. I think Cunningham is every bit as good on the move as he is in the pocket, and that's not to diminish his pocket skills. This guy is a really good athlete. He's a dual threat when he gets out in the perimeter. He can run it or throw it, and he's had some really accurate passes on the run.
Boy, I really wanted it to be Dover to Caesar Rodney. It's just, the Civil War rivalry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to burst that.
Middletown to Caesar Rodney. Here comes Kearney trying to get it in, and he got in there. Boy, a strong effort by Kamaj Kearney, and that will put the Gold up 16-8 with 41 seconds to go in the third. Well-engineered drive that time by the Gold.
It certainly was. Good balance. They used the run and the pass, not equally, but at the right moments. Cunningham made a couple great decisions. But what I like is when you teach a young running back, one of the first things you tell them is no matter what, you're always going to keep your legs moving. And this guy, Kearney, does a great job of that. His feet are always active. Even if he's hit, he's still driving his thighs. Strong-legged man. He's able to push the pile from the 1.5-yard line into the end zone to get the 2-point conversion. So an outstanding run. We talked about the earthquake. Fits his skill set, but I'll tell you what, he brings a lot to the table with his running style.
He sure does. And now, maybe the most exciting play of the game tonight is the kickoff for the Gold. One resulted in a touchdown for the Blue, and one resulted in a fumble recovery for the Gold. And Dante Brooks was involved in both. And he's one of the up backs.
Brooks, who limped off the field earlier, they're not going to use him back there.
Squib kick again. It's fumbled, picked up, and then wrapped up and tackled immediately on the return 25. Cooper Strauss from Wilmington Friends.
Cooper Strauss had a terrific career, played linebacker, one of the more intelligent backers I've ever coached, a running back who was very versatile, a terrific student. He's following his older brother to Wake Forest to be a student down there. One of the really unique guys, a great thespian. He has a great voice, a lot of versatile people playing in this game, but very proud to have gotten the opportunity to coach Cooper Strauss. He's got a younger brother, Owen, who will be a senior this year, who pound for pound is one of the toughest guys I've ever coached. So a really fine family and a good return there by Cooper, knowing what to do.
The Quakers up there at Alapocus. All right, here we go with only 36 seconds to go in the third. Wasco in the gun. Turns around, hands it off to that violent runner, as Bill described, Amir Madri, who gets out across the 40 to the 41. He's a slasher.
He's running behind the really fine block of the H-back in motion, that Cooper Strauss we were just talking about. Did a good job of facing up. Now, to make that move in 1 week, that's some really good coaching by Matt Carey to transform Cooper Strauss, who was a halfback, fullback for friends on the offensive side, to an H-back, especially having to move around in time. And so a great job of preparation by the Blue offensive staff.
I'm not sure the Blues going to get this snap off, Bill, and
I don't
they
think
will
they
not.
even intended to.
Yep, all zeros on the stadium clock here at Delaware Stadium. 1 quarter to go in the 70th annual Blue Gold All-Star Football Game. 16-8 in favor of the Gold. Back with the fourth quarter after this. Okay.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
From Fenwick Island to Middletown, Surf Bagel is your go-to spot for fresh baked bagels and good vibes. We're open daily from 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., serving up breakfast and lunch favorites like our specialty wraps, made-to-order salads, tasty smoothies, and locally roasted coffee. Be sure to check out our iconic merch, the perfect way to wear the beach life wherever you go. Dine in and enjoy the beach atmosphere, or grab your order to go and hit the road. We're stoked to serve you soon.
Back here getting ready for the fourth quarter of action. Bill and I, you were talking during the break about, let's credit the coaches for what we're seeing out here in this game tonight in a short period of time. And we've had very good sustained drives by both teams.
We certainly have, and I want to follow up your point, which is very well taken, and you also made this point. They had really good weather, so they weren't forced inside. They could actually get the full amount of practice time because of the lower humidity and not the high temperatures that you get a lot of time this year. But both coaching staffs have done a great job of installing their game plans and their actual sequence of plays.
On the first play in the fourth quarter, Wasco's pass intended for, let's see who that was at the top of the screen there. It was number 15, Isaiah Farrell, and that's incomplete, and that's the first play of the fourth quarter. But you're right, it was almost San Diego-like weather almost all week for us till today.
It's certainly been great. The low humidity makes a huge difference because the players are able to concentrate longer. You can then use your off time to get on the board. So both these teams are obviously high football IQs, as we've mentioned, to be able to absorb all of this in such a short amount of time because the coaches are not really allowed to contact them before they come down here on Sunday afternoon. And there are also other activities they have for the DFRC. So a great credit to the players and the staffs.
They fake the sweep. Madre puts the helmet down, but he is wrapped up and thrown back. Let's see if they unpile who that first tackler was in there.
It's going to be Khalid Burden was in there from Laurel making a really fine play. He's another one of those 3 sport athletes from Laurel High School.
Madre that time picked up about 5 before he was hit and driven back.
Guys, I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen a few more trick plays. Now, maybe they didn't have a chance to install them, but in a game like this, especially where you have a limited amount of time, a couple of those plays might be a good thing to pull out of your portfolio here, especially in a big moment.
Well, with 4th down and 5, here's Broccolente on the punt. Gets it off, spiraling punt inside the 30, but then bounces backwards and is down by the blue just outside the goal 30-yard line. I want to mention a couple of defensive linemen that were in that last series and did a good job for the goal. Jaleel Settles, number 66. Number 52, Jacob Killen from Indian River was in there as well. So 3 and out. That's, I think, maybe the first. No, each team now has had 1 3 and out tonight. The Gold had 1 in the second quarter.
Well, the ability of both teams to find something that's worked offensively has really been the key here in the run game. The Gold team with the earthquake, the Blue team with not only the eye but the power eye as well. That time they went a little bit open, throwing on first down, somewhat destroyed the drive. And let's see what Gold can take advantage of here with their H-back offense.
Drummond back in at quarterback. Throws a quick slant pattern to Dom Montebell, his teammate, who is wrapped up but manages to spin around and get the first down yardage.
That was RPO action at its best, run-pass option. They run a counter play to the right that they fake, and then they hit Montebell on an in-breaking route to the backside. You get the coverage to roll. You get the linebackers moving towards the play. That was very well diagrammed and very well executed by the Gold team.
At their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Gold. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, alone to the top. Drummond in at quarterback. Hard cadence, trying to draw him off sides, and something happened up front. We do have a flag down.
Sometimes when you're trying to use your voice inflection, especially when your linemen aren't used to it, you might influence your own players versus the defensive line, and that's what happened there.
Exactly what happened there. So now 1st down and 15 back at the Gold 40-yard line. Zachy Williams from Odessa in it wide out. Dom Montebell will split to the near side, the bottom of your screen. Patterson outside of him. And then our Odessa Duck, Zachy Williams up top. Drummond fakes the handoff, throws that slant pattern again. It was almost picked off that time.
Well, Michael Donovan would love to have kept his feet there. He did a great job of reading that. That was that RPO again. They fake the run play to the right, and then they pull it and throw that backside slant. That time, Drummond and his receiver were not on the same page. Donovan almost had an opportunity for a big-time interception.
Stops the clock with 10:06 to go in the 4th quarter. 16-8, the Gold on top. They're trying to snap Blue's 4-game win streak in this series. You can probably hear the Blue Gold All-Star marching band in the background. This time we have Montebell split topside and Zachy Williams inside of him. Patterson goes in motion far side. Handoff up the middle. Barber crashes up for 5. He got the penalty yardage back. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
We've talked a lot about Barber's running style, and I really love it. He's built low to the ground. He runs with good pad level, meaning they're over top of his legs. He's always working his leg action, and it took a really fine tackle there by Roman Trubiano, one of the Blue inside linebackers from Salesianum, to make that play.
Trubiano having an outstanding game so far defensively for the Blue.
He's known for his solo tackles because of his intelligence and his ability to find the right fit.
Yeah, how about 35 solo tackles this year for Coach Gene Deladon at 10 TFLs. All right, 3rd down and 10 play. Drummond back to pass. Looks downfield, center of the field. One-handed attempt by Montabell was tipped and picked off, I believe, by the Blue, and it is. 2nd interception this half for the Blue.
Well, that pass by Drummond, he was caught on his back foot because of the rush. The ball was thrown a little high, and DeVar Rice-Jackson made the interception coming over from behind the receiver. It did tip off of Montabell's hands. He had really no chance to catch it, but a really fine read by Rice-Jackson to get over the top. So a big break here. Not a lot of turnovers in this game,
right,
which you might see on the short week, but that's a huge one. It gives Blue the opportunity here, though they are going against a pretty strong wind.
I think that's the 3rd turnover. We've had 1 fumble on the kickoff return for the Blue and then 2 INTs.
Orsini back in at quarterback. Look for he and Hagenberg at some point to get together on a long pass. Hagenberg was a great route runner, and they had great simpatico throughout the season on big play situations.
Madry is the running back, and now we've got some confusion and a timeout called by the Blue with 9:06 to go in regulation, 16-8 in favor of the Gold. There have been 3 ties in this series. And once again, last year was a very tight game at halftime, and then the Blue just dominated the second half and set a record for a point scored in the game with 48.
4 wins in a row for the Blue team,
Yep.
36 overall. So a sight. It's not in the long run, nobody really worries about who won or lost this game, but it's certainly the experience that is the most important. But
Yep.
if they're keeping score, they might as well tell you who's won the more games.
Wide receiver sweep. And another penalty flag is down. On the carry was Farrell. And he got very close to the first down, but again, we'll have to check the flag. It's probably an illegal block on the Blue.
The Blue team has been plagued throughout this game, especially offensively, with big penalties at the wrong moments. By big, I mean 10 or 15-yarders.
Yeah. That's a hold on the Blue. Hey, we got the referees mic'd up. Working well here in the second half here at Delaware Stadium.
And let's not forget the officials also donate their time to this game.
That's right. Yep.
Crew's done a nice job. I think they've adjudicated it well, called what's been appropriate. It may seem to some that the Blues been penalized more, but the penalties they've called, the ones that I have seen, have been all accurate.
Yeah, Bill, unfortunately, I don't have the names of the referees, the officials in the game, but good point. I'm glad you brought it up. After the penalty, it goes all the way back to the Blue 42-yard line. Nice leaping ability, high point in that ball, catch made. They're only going to gain about 4 yards, but the catch made by Jafari Payne of Dickinson.
Orsini's starting and wanting to show off his talents. This guy is really confident in his abilities, and I mean that in a really good way. He knows he can sling it. He's got great hips, has a really good throwing action. He's going to Bates College in Lewiston, Maine, to quarterback in the NESCAC. It's a perfect fit for him. He's a very fine student, comes from a terrific family, and I expect big things out of John Orsini in the future at Bates University.
Well, the Blues going to call another timeout here as they've got a 2nd down and 11 coming up near midfield. We have 8:22 to go in the ball game. Once again, it's 16-8 in favor of the Gold. Glenn Frazier alongside Bill Harmon. We have our producer up here, Nick Halliday, and operating 2 cameras, not 1, 2 cameras, and a switcher is Craig Laskowski in the booth right next to us, doing a great job.
Glenn, it's always a pleasure to do games with you. We've done them over the past. You're a great partner, but I want to compliment 302 and Nick Halliday. That group does just a terrific job. I've had the unique honor and opportunity at times to work for them. They're very nice to let me come in and work with someone like you and others. These guys work so hard. They are out there at all different kinds of sports, supporting Delaware high school sports. They never miss a game. These guys are dedicated to it. They've been doing it a long time, and I'll tell you what, it's a real honor to be able to work for a great group like that. One of Delaware's finest organizations.
Oh, we appreciate your comments, Bill, and we love having you join us on the broadcast, whether it's basketball or football or baseball, because I think you've done all 3. All right, man in motion to the near side. That's Gaiman. Back to pass, steps up in the pocket, throws down the middle of the field, high point again. Oh, couldn't quite come up with that one that time. Was number 14 who caught the earlier pass, Payne.
Payne from Dickinson and Orsini have hooked up on some earlier passes. That was a really fine throw by John Orsini. He knew he had to thread the needle there. He had to put a little bit of touch on it instead of showing off all his arm talent. It was a really wonderful throw just off the tips of Payne from Dickinson.
Stops the clock with 8:16 to go and brings up 3rd down and 11 for the Blue.
They tried a screen pass earlier, which might be appropriate in this case, but it was completely read by the goal defense. So I think they're going to have to throw this ball down the field.
Orsini back, steps up in the pocket, wrapped up from behind, and kept his balance. And now finally goes down. And now a late flag goes flying as well. I hope the young man's okay. He's still on his back. I think just a little frustration because he almost got away.
Well, Orsini is so clever back there. He's got great footwork. I'll tell you the throw they were trying to make, but there was pressure. Orsini was looking to the left, but they were running Hagenberg on a wheel route. He was the number 2 receiver in the slot. The outside receiver runs an in-breaking route, and he comes off the hip of him. That's a pattern that John Belace at Archmere and Orsini and Hagenberg have made famous over the 3 years that Johnny was the quarterback, and just missed it because of the pressure.
Penalty was against the Blue, Bill. Of course, it'll be declined by the goal. They'll take the play and the loss, so it's now 4th and long as Matteo Bracalente will come in. And once again, we've mentioned several times in the broadcast, he's going to Delaware State University. What a great find for them down there. And
down
what
there
a
with
weapon.
Deshaun Jackson,
yes.
right, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes,
Of course.
Deshaun Jackson, what a wise
Well, I had the
wise
opportunity
man.
to call his game here with Delaware at the start of last season. What a wonderful job he and his staff did.
Yeah. Nice punt into the wind. And they are just going to let it bounce out inside the 10-yard line. Very effective weapon is Matteo Bracalente, the all-state kicker and punter. Wow.
53 yards into the wind. What a great kick. We talked about his leg swing earlier on. I always go back to maybe one of the greatest punters of all time in the NFL, Ray Guy.
Yeah.
Ray Guy was tall and lanky. Braccaletti's a little bit shorter. But the ability for these punters to take their leg and swing it and get it up above their hairline is amazing. Braccaletti's got that leg swing. It just allows you not only to power the ball, but to get better height on it, because as your leg follows through from the launch point and it extends up, it just provides more height. This Braccaletti's really got it.
And we saw him on a kickoff earlier tonight when the wind
too.
was even stiffer then, and it went for a touchback. So that's how impressive the young man is. And, yeah, Coach Jackson is going to welcome that young man with open arms down there in Dover.
And it's a huge weapon.
All right, goal player coming on late.
They're going to utilize the earthquake formation backed up.
Yep, got all the personnel on the field. Kamash Kearney.
They do not want to turn the ball over in this situation.
He takes it himself, gets good yardage, just kind of ducks underneath the blockers, and they push the pile. It's still going all the way out across the 25-yard line.
Well, here's the problem. You're in the fourth quarter. You've been playing hard. They come out in this earthquake. You're down by 8. The momentum's changed a little bit, and you've got a power runner running behind a big offensive front, and he keeps his legs moving. The problem with this is if they break it, they're going to have everybody in the box. When you're forced to stop this, you don't have a safety. You don't have a deep safety. You've got everybody within 5 to 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. And if he breaks one, he'll be gone.
Oh, yeah, he has great speed. Like I said, most of his career at Smyrna was a wideout. Pressed into running back duty last year. And now premature movement by the Blue. They jumped off sides. So that'll make it 1st down and 5 for the goal.
I go back to a point I made earlier. The center job has really been terrific by Tanner Smith from CR. His snaps have been accurate. They've been on time when they've used motion. That's so important because a bad snap here leads to a turnover or a big loss on down. So it's very important that your center's communicating, especially when you've used different quarterbacks that have different cadences.
Yeah, on that front line right now, we got Michael Toomey from Sussex Central. We got Jaleel Settles from St. George's. You have Johnny Whaley from Odessa. and some other special personnel for this formation. Kearney takes it himself, hit from behind that time, and gained maybe a yard or two. Grabbing him from behind, number 56 for the Blue, and that's Amir Caceres from Howard.
Caceres going to Alvernia, Dan Ritter product. He is a tough guy. They've had some great linemen over the years. You kind of think of Howard with all this great skill, great quarterback speed, this and that. But I'll tell you what, when they've been at their best, their offensive line and defensive line has dominated. They've had really good linebackers. We've talked about him constantly on offense. But this Amir Madri may hit as hard as any player I've seen in the state in a number of years.
And he does it on both sides of the ball.
Yes, he does.
New quarterback in this time, taking the ball, fumbling, or they're going to say the ground calls the fumble. It's a first down carry, and that's Vincent Evans in there in the earthquake.
Evans is a perfect complement in this offense because he's a little bit more of a snake-like runner. He's going to find that little seam and exploit it. He runs higher, but I'll tell you what, he's got great vision. This guy is a terrific athlete, as we mentioned, but what I like about him is he's willing to run in between the tackles.
And he's not even going to play football at the next level. He's a three-sport athlete. He's going to play baseball at Presbyterian. You mentioned the arm that he had, and Nick and we saw him playing basketball. He had great skills on the hard floor as well.
I believe he was a first-team pitcher, and I saw some really good pitchers. I did not get to see Evans this year, but I missed a really good one.
Evans again will take it in that earthquake, weaves his way through the line, still on his feet, and finally out of bounds in blue territory out at the 48.
They run an unbalanced set to the right side and then run back weak, and Evans did a really good job of reading that. When you run back weak, that's because the defensive line is overshifted to accommodate the unbalance. You're able to exploit it back to the short side.
The Gold has started this drive, I believe, inside the 10 at the 9-yard line after the Rockalende punt.
This has been a game of long drives, has it not?
It surely has. And that's what has impressed me about the short week of practice they've had and how successful these two offenses have been on their series. Evans again eluded one defender, blitzing through there. And he got just to the 45-yard line where now they're going to spot him the 44.
A nice twist to the phalanx or the earthquake going unbalanced to the wide side of the field. It forces the defense to overshift, make sure they have enough players there. Second time in a row they've run back to the short side. Evans exploiting the overshift by the blue team.
Now Evans going out, and Kearney is back in.
It's a nice 1-2 punch. You've got the power runner of Kearney, and then you've got the speed, agility runner of Evans.
And you have Barber back there to block. No, this time Barber gets it, but he goes down immediately in on the tackle, Anthony Spinato from Salesiano.
Blues got to come up with a stop here. I think the Gold team, if they don't get it, will punt. They've got the lead and the clock running down and the wind at their back. So this is a huge down for both teams. Cunningham's back in. They'll probably go wide, and they'll put Cunningham on the move as they well should. He's been very accurate throwing to his right, running and throwing to his right.
And that's, you'll see to the right side, 3 receivers up top.
They're short alignment.
Yep,
the Gold team is short alignment. They may need to call a timeout here.
Yeah, Cunningham looking to the back judge, calling the timeout. And that comes at the 4:14 mark here in the fourth quarter. And as you just mentioned, this is a huge third down coming up for both teams.
Well, it certainly is. The Blue has to find a way to stop them. They've got to get the ball back and get this offense going. They're going to have to throw the ball. I would expect Orsini to be in. The Gold team obviously wants to sustain this drive, force the Blue team to utilize all their timeouts trying to stop them. But this is huge. Cunningham's in. He is very good on the run. Neither team has really put in any bootlegs, or have we seen a trick play, but this would be an ideal time for maybe a double pass, a reverse. Let's see what the Gold offensive coordinators come up with.
All right, the timeout called by the Gold. They have a 3rd down and 8 coming up. in blue territory, just inside of midfield. 16-8 is the score. Gold on top. Both teams have scored touchdowns and 2-point conversions. We've had no extra point attempts. And the Gold kind of forced that when they went for 2 on their first touchdown. When the Blues scored immediately on the ensuing kickoff, they felt they needed to go for 2 and tie it up, and they did. Trips to the top of your screen. Cunningham, Barber to his right. Drops straight back. Now he's going to call his own number. If he can get the edge, he might get the first down. A flag is down as he makes the cut, and he goes down at the 35. It's enough for a first down, but we'll have to check the flag.
I think it's coming back due to a hold, but what a great play call. That's the second time in long yardage on third down they've used a quarterback draw. Drummond drew a first down earlier. This time, a great run by Cunningham. I think it's going to come back.
Yeah, I think I saw the official down there, and now the call. It is a hold on the Blue, and that is huge. It's a spot foul. So the yardage stepped off past midfield to the Gold 48.
As we've talked about throughout this game, Glenn, it's the Blue team that's hurt themselves on offense by their penalties.
Right.
Here on a huge play that might have actually been the end of the game in a sense. Gold would have been able to run down the clock. They get a big holding penalty to force them into a 3rd and 14. And remember, that's a spot foul, so the hold came down the field.
Right. Montebill and Patterson split to the top of your screen. No, Patterson's at the bottom. It's got to be Montebill, and can't pick up the other number up there. And now I think the Gold has to call another timeout, as they're going to be hit with a delay game penalty. Here's the call by our official. No, we got a false start on the Gold.
Both tackles were turning around and looking. Offensive tackles were looking around either for the cadence or to see what was going on in the backfield. And they moved just a little bit too aggressively and created the illegal motion.
Well, now the Gold really backed up. Back at their 43-yard line.
Blue team will play some cover 2, some soft funnel. They'll make sure nobody can get outside them. They've had 2 really fine safety plays. Mike Donovan's been terrific at the right cornerback from Archmere. Let's see if they don't bring a little pressure here to force Cunningham to throw the ball quickly.
3rd down and 19. Kearney in motion to the top. Cunningham, he handed the ball off to Barber, and he spun around for no gain. That brings up 4th down, clock running, under 4 minutes to go.
A little surprised the Blue isn't using a timeout here. What you need at this point of the game is clock preservation.
Yeah.
You can't worry about not having enough timeouts for 2-minute offense. What you do need is more time to make this drive. But with a good punt here, the Blue will probably have to go 60 to 65 yards.
Gaiman and Farrell, as they have all night, back deep to receive the punt from Cunningham.
Now it's important here that the Gold team does a good job of blocking. The Blue team has pressured the punt one time, almost had a near block. They had the penalty in the end zone at the end of the first half where they ran into the punter.
Clock was still running. It's down to 3:13. Cunningham finally gets it off. Nice high punt, good hang time. It's out of bounds, far side. Or what do we have here?
There's a whistle.
Stoppage.
There's a whistle and stoppage of play.
Well, they're going to replay the 4th down punt. That was a delay game. They didn't get the snap off, Bill.
Even though that didn't get off, what it did, it allowed them to run the clock down to the absolute moment. Now, what would have been great was let it run down, snap the ball with 1 second, or take a timeout then. But I think trading seconds here for 5 yards not as important.
All right.
From the goal perspective.
Now we're down to 3:08.
Now the clock will start on the snap.
Right. So Farrell, far side. Gaiman near side. Cunningham all day. Finally gets the punt off. Short punt. Gold bounce. Inside the 25. Inside the 20. And will stop inside the 19-yard line.
What a huge play by Cunningham. Not only does he handle the high snap that could have gone over his head for either a block or a fumble or a possession by the Blue, he bought some more time, ran off 18 seconds from 3:08 to 2:50 and then kicks a 46-yard punt down the field. What a great play by the excellent athlete Cunningham from Middletown.
All right, so the Blue at their 19-yard line and 2:50 to work with. And we're not sure how many timeouts they have. That's not being kept on the scoreboard here.
Orsini is the quarterback. They need him to gunsling here. Make some plays with his feet. Get him on the move. Look for Hagenberg as his primary receiver and Gaiman.
Madry's in the backfield with him. Orsini's back, throws near side, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Gaiman incomplete.
Well, it was a good starter for Orsini. They're going to hit a flat pass out to Gaiman, just a little off his fingertips, but it stops the clock. They've got 3 more downs to get the first down. At some point here, look for Orsini to air it out deep to his teammate, Hagenberg.
All right, Bill, we'll keep an eye on that. 2:52 to go in the game. The Blue trying to extend their winning streak in this series to 5 games. The Gold trying to snap that 4-game win streak.
It'll be interesting, Glenn, whether they choose to rush 3 and drop 8 or put some pressure on Orsini. Their pressure has worked in the past.
They rush 3. Orsini, near side, throws, wide open. I think that's Gaiman. Got out of bounds across the 25 at about the 27-yard line.
A smart play by Sear Gaiman, not only to catch it and get the required yardage, but to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Orsini did a great job with his vision there to elude the heavy rush from the left side. He works out on the edge. He's an excellent passer on the run.
That didn't take long.
Excuse me, 3rd and 1.
Yep, didn't take long. Only 8 seconds off the clock, so still 2:44 to go. 3rd down and a short 2. Twins top and bottom. Orsini back, throws near side, wide open on the short pattern. 1st down and out of bounds across the 35 to the 37. And that time to Farrell.
Well, Farrell did a nice job there of shaping up. The Gold team has decided we're going to give up the short hitches. The Blue team ought to take it and look maybe for a puncture. Farrell did a great job with the catch and the run and then to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
2 consecutive, almost identical pass plays.
Well, that's what the Gold is giving them. Orsini's smart enough to know what to take.
Now, if he has time, if he gives a little pump fake. Now they're going to do the same thing. Farrell got across the 40 at about the 41-yard line, so he's going to pick up about 4.
I think we're going to have roughing the passer here.
Oh. Well, they'll tack that on to the end of the play.
There's a flag in the backfield. I don't think it was a hold. It's roughing the passer.
All right, that's a big penalty against the Gold.
Orsini's a pretty sturdy guy in there. He hangs in, allows the rush to develop so he can buy time for his receiver. He's really a tough-minded guy. Had a great basketball career for Archmere and Nick Santa, the very fine basketball and baseball coach up there. And I'll tell you what, he's a guy that can play 2 sports in college.
Penalty yardage stepped off out across midfield all the way down to the 44-yard line of the Gold. Plenty of time, 2:30 to go.
These short passes really help your quarterback's confidence. At some point, the way they've run this set, they might be able to get a hook in lateral.
Orsini drops back. Now he's going to roll far side and turn around and come back in the other direction. Good block. Throw sideline. He hits Madry, and Madry is driven back. He did not gain anything, and now a late flag is thrown near the Blue sideline.
I think you may get a hit out of bounds. The Gold team becoming a little unraveled here.
Yeah, they certainly are.
The escapability of Orsini showed great hips there on that escape as he started left and then rolled back to the right.
There's no gain on the pass play, but here's the dead ball, personal foul against the Gold. So 2 major penalties here in this drive, and still 2:15 left.
After none of those penalties for the entire game, the Gold team now becoming a little unraveled. I think their inability to keep Orsini where they want him in the pocket and make him make those throws. Now their defense getting a little tight and making a couple bad decisions.
3 receivers split to the top of their screen. One appears to be lining up off sides. Orsini back to pass. Look left. Comes back right. Oh, that's holding. That's got to be a hold, and no penalty flag is thrown.
Glenn, I kind of saw what you saw.
Yeah,
I know they're allowing in a game like this a little bit more contact down the field, but the arm was actually attached instead of just being there as a ward off the field for him. That could have easily been a PI. Now, remember, in high school, it's not a spot foul.
Right. Comes back, yeah. Still plenty of time. This drive started with 2:50 on the clock, so the Blue has done a great job of time management in this drive. They've only used up 43 seconds so far.
Well, they've been throwing the ball and throwing those short ones to get guys out of bounds, which they've done. Orsini though he's a very good short passer, he's a very accurate long passer.
Has Madry to his right. Now there's confusion.
I wasn't sure if that was going to be a trick play or not.
They got a timeout. The Blue got a timeout just before that snap and avoided danger there, Bill.
Well, they had Sear Gaiman coming in the backfield as if he was going to ask a question, and I think that, to me, was going to be a trick play, and then the center snapped it. Now, maybe I'm overreading it a little bit, but a good timeout because the Blue team was not totally organized on that.
No. And what a heady call from the sideline by the Blue coaching staff. That could have been a disaster. So let's reset. The Blue at the goal 31-yard line, 2:04 to go, trailing by 8.
And if Blue has one timeout left, that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they have that. Again, by rule, the defense, they can't press on the outside. They have to allow 3 yards of space with the cornerbacks. Safeties have to be within no closer than 8 yards. You can play different coverages back there, but you've got to have your defensive line attached in the right way. Your ends can either rush or drop, and you can't blitz linebackers. So your pressure has to come from interior or off the edge with your outside linebackers, not the inside ones.
Orsini steps up in the pocket, throws middle of the field, and a diving catch is made down at the 16-yard line for a first down.
What a great job by John Orsini to climb the pocket, kept his eyes down the field, found Farrell coming across from left to right on an under route. A really nice catch, and gives him a first down as the clock runs.
Went down at they're going to mark him at the 17, so they picked up 14 yards on that pass. And that's the longest pass play of this drive.
You can just tell Orsini's getting in rhythm here. He's gaining more confidence. His line just needs to protect him a little bit more. And the goal team has to have an answer here with some pass rush.
Back on their heels a little bit. Hagenberg in motion. Orsini rolls, throws it, looking for Hagenberg. Over the shoulder catch for the touchdown. You called it, Bill. You said it was going to happen.
They put Hagenberg in motion from right to left. He slides to the flat and then turns up the field on that wheel route. Some people call it a rail route. The point is, he clears the line at about 4 yards, turns up, looks over his inside shoulder. Orsini did an outstanding job of finding him, manipulating the pocket, and then making a wonderful throw on the run.
Almost a Tim Tebow-esque move by Orsini to run up to the line of scrimmage, stop just short, and then connect on that pass play. And now
that reminds me of
the all-important two-point try.
Nolan Henderson used to have a
Yes.
great feel here at Delaware. I called a number of his games. Exactly where the line of scrimmage was and also where the line to make was.
Yep.
I saw him make countless plays, and that's just intelligence, creativity, and just a great feel for the game.
All right, here we go. This is the all-important two-point try to tie it up. Orsini with Madry to his right. They bring Gaiman in motion. Throw, tipped, and intercepted by the Gold in the end zone.
One of the issues when you go to trips and you roll out that way, you compress the field. Gives the defense a little bit more time to accommodate the routes. You get a little bit of congestion over there. Just a good play by the goal team. Khalid
Burton executed the tip drill to perfection. There was a couple of tips, and then he picked it off in the back of the end zone. So it's 16-14 goal with 1:23 to go, and the key now is going to be how many timeouts does the Blue have left?
That is the $64 trillion question. Okay. It used to be 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm using trillion
Inflation.
now since we've got SpaceX.
Inflation.
And Elon Musk.
All right. I'll tell you what, we were looking forward to the 70th anniversary of this event being competitive. It certainly has been.
It's
every
been a really
bit of that.
special game. Isn't it amazing, Glenn? 70 years ago, Mr. Williams and Mr. Carpenter had this vision. And to still have the game going on in a state our size and the same contributing charity for it, it's an amazing thing. Credit to everybody, the organization you've mentioned, the coaches, the players, the parents, everybody involved, the buddies, all the ambassadors and the cheerleaders. Your daughter was a cheerleader here in 1999, if I'm not mistaken, right?
99. Hey, onside kick, you think?
Well, if anybody can get it done, it would be the St. Mark's kicker.
All right. There's Matteo Broccolente. Now the gold, maybe a little late getting personnel up there.
Well, again, you don't have a lot of time to practice this. You might have just gone over your onside personnel once.
There's a big gap right in the middle of the field between the hash marks. There's the onside attempt. Did it go 10 yards? We've got a whistle.
We're going to have offsides on the blue.
Yeah.
And again, they just haven't had the time to practice this.
Yeah.
Now, I like what you do. I'm a big fan. If you do get that split like a four-man front, is to do what I call the basketball roller and let the kicker try to recover it.
Right.
You have two players run inside, and in theory, the next men next to the kicker, let the kicker bounce it 10, 11 yards and have him try to recover it.
Now, Bill, it looks like the gold has adjusted here a little bit. Let's see if they still leave that big gap in the middle.
I've never understood when you see onside kick like this where you don't have 5, if not 6 players up front.
They really only have 4 up front. Now they move Kearney. I think that's, Kearney inside the hash. And they're pulling everybody up from deep.
And this is offset. In high school, you can only have 6 players to one side of the kicker. That's a rule change in the last 10 years.
All right, here's Broccolente's attempt. And the gold grabs that and falls on it at the 48-yard line, catching it midair. That's number 13 for the gold, Montabell. Dom Montabell has had a game. And we have a blue player down at midfield. Hopefully the young man's okay. And that's another key you brought up earlier in the broadcast, Bill. We only had one injury timeout that I can remember in the game. That was, I think, Gaiman, and he came off and got back in the game, was fine. So hopefully this is not anything serious.
This is obviously what you hate to see at any level in any thing, but especially with 1:23 left in the game.
Yeah.
These young men trying to do the best they can, whether they're covering the kick or somebody's blocking them.
Right.
Stuff is going to happen. It's contact football. It's a collision sport.
Yep.
And let's hope this young man, whoever it is, gets up and is going to be okay.
Blue head coach Matt Carey out there with
great
his
training
headset.
staffs. They also bring in, we talk about all the assistants and all these trainers are in for the week, and they have to do a great job on short notice of keeping these players healthy.
Do a fantastic job. I'll tell you what, for a crowd that's probably around 2,000, maybe a little bit more, they certainly have made a lot of noise here tonight.
I like the better the crowd, the bigger the crowd, the better, but this crowd was certainly into the game and saw a lot of really good action by both teams.
Sure have. Both sides of the ball, both teams. Maybe one of the best blue gold all-star games I've seen in a while.
It certainly has been. Outside of the penalties, which cost both teams at big moments, this game has been hard fought and played very fairly.
Both teams with 2 turnovers. We had a kickoff return for a touchdown by Dante Brooks. And a mixture of offensive sets, which is rare.
Quite a variety,
because
right?
Because of the short week.
We saw power eye, we saw regular eye, we saw the earthquake.
Spread.
A little bit of everything, Glenn. It kept you on your toes, and you did a magnificent job identifying those.
Okay, our player is up, Bill. Thank you for those comments.
That's Roman Tribbiano.
Oh, boy, he had one heck of a game tonight.
Yes, he did. A real warrior, plays extremely hard, super smart, one of the really fine men in that Salesianum program that Gene Deladon's done such a great job with.
And he's, as far as I know, hasn't committed to a university or college yet.
I believe he's going to be a student.
Okay.
Now,
I'm
he
sure
may
he'll be a
change.
good
I'll
one.
tell you what. Oh, he is an excellent student, but he is a terrific football player. And if that was his last rep, I guarantee he was doing it at the fullest of his ability.
I'm not sure the blue has any timeouts left. It looks like the gold is going
Gold's
to the
gonna
victory
take a knee.
formation. And that's Darian Cunningham will back up, and now will finally go down on a knee. And it's tackled by one of his own teammates. That's Dominic Monteville. That'll get the, well, there is timeout by the official. That stops the clock with 1:10 to go. So if that's blue, I can't imagine they have any more.
Not unless they gave them a few extra.
Yeah, like we said, the most important thing that you take from this game as a player, as an ambassador, as a cheerleader, a band member, is the experience and the relationships formed here at this event. I know it was from my youngest daughter back in 1999. And you want to win. You're playing the game, gold, you're blue, you want to win the game. But you're going to form relationships that maybe last a lifetime.
It's the experience and also the cause that they're playing with is paramount. And when these buddies get to be reunited at the end of the game, it's always a very special moment, as we had that moment before the game when they come on the field before the opening kickoff.
Clock running now, Bill.
They are playing for those people.
Yes, they are. Yep. So blue can't stop it again. That was
what a terrific comeback there by the blue team. Archmere connection, just a pass off the fingertips in the end zone. We would have had another one of those ties probably. A great job by both teams. I thought both fronts played extremely well. We had some outstanding offensive and defensive plays. I think the coaches deserve a lot of credit on short notice, getting these teams short week, getting these teams ready to play. And I thought outside of some penalties at unfortunate times for both teams, this was a really well-played game, and I enjoyed the call with you, Glenn and Nick.
I just saw Navon Pierce down there doing backflips, again, to show you how athletic some of these kids are. As the gold celebrates, they snap the Blues' 4-game win streak in the series. The blue leads the series now 36-31 with 3 ties. Bill's great working with you. I think we'll keep the cameras on the line here for a second and see the celebration going on, and we'll get a little bit of that flavor and break away and to come back with our final comments right after this. Are we clear? Do you want to stay for the